think they can win it all.
All right.
Wow.
But the way Jimmy Butler was playing, yeah, if the Heat keep playing like that, yeah, they're gonna come up out the East.
I got
All
something
right.
for that.
All right, well let's go. We're live now, guys. Thank you for joining us. This is the GOAT James Kingdom Show. Peace and blessings to everybody. We have B Lee and A Johnny, your hosts, and we are here every Sunday noontime to talk the GOAT conversation in basketball. It is the greatest time of basketball. It's the playoffs, right in the heat of things. We got Ralph and Ernest here to join the panel. Thanks for joining us, fellas. What's good?
What's going
Okay,
on?
and Nino just showed up. How you doing, Nino? What's good, Nino?
Sorry, man. Me and my wife just moved to the East Coast, and I'm still getting used to this time frame. I didn't get off work until frickin' 5 this morning, so
Okay, okay.
I'm still trying to get used to this shit. And as you can see, if I turn this around, we're still moving.
Okay,
So,
all right. Well, you know the rules. You've been on the show before. Thanks for joining us, and
mm,
we'll do our best because we are going to go an hour, fellas. I am getting off. My game starts at 1 p.m.
My game.
Huh? Who?
My
What?
game.
Oh, here you
My
go.
game.
Oh, your game. Okay, okay, y'all. So as y'all can see, that's today's topic. All right, we're going to discuss the playoffs today. We're going to talk basketball today. We don't have to talk the GOAT conversation every week. We're going to talk basketball this week because we have some great matchups. We got the Heat and the Knicks at 1 p.m. on ABC, and then right after that is the Warriors and the Kings for a Game 7. You don't get any better than that, y'all. We all know how the Heat and the Knicks get. We know how the Knicks fans are. We know how the Heat fans are. We know how South Florida is. There's a lot of Nick people down here. There's a lot of New Yorkers down here, and they love to get real hype. My wife
Yep.
is getting ready right now. So we had great basketball though all week, right? We had the Lakers representing Friday night. GOAT James and the Lakers are moving on to the next round to all the tears of LeBron James's haters because they never thought the GOAT could get his team here, but now the GOAT
So
has his
many.
team here. You know what I'm saying? So we have that going on. And then we had last night's game, which was really a good game between the Nuggets and the Suns, which now all the LeBron haters are Suns fans, but the Suns didn't look too good in my eyes yesterday. So let's start with that. What you think about last night's game, Ralph?
Well, it was like at the beginning, like Katie was going off and everything, and like the Nuggets just started slowly pulling off. Like I want to say second quarter, it just got ugly to where in that third quarter I stopped watching. I was like, all right, the Nuggets got this. They actually came with a great game plan against the Suns, and that next game I'm expecting the Suns to counter onto that game plan, and hopefully like my prediction on that, I feel like the Suns will take that game too.
Hmm. Interesting, interesting. What about you, Ernest? What you thought about last night's game?
I ain't really get to see all of it because I was busy, but I saw some of it, and like Ralph was saying, eh, I feel like it's gonna go the same way like KD did with the Nets last year. They not gonna. I don't think because KD ain't leading no team. He just out there to hoop.
That's interesting. That's interesting. What about Nino? So I guess you said you was working. You didn't get a chance to watch the game last night, did you?
no, I worked from 11 in the morning yesterday until 5 this morning.
All right. And the first thing you thought about was GOAT James Kingdom. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you, sir. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. T Perfect, welcome for joining the panel. Can you hear us clearly? No, we can't hear you.
No,
We
we can't
cannot
hear
hear you.
you.
Your mic's not on. Craig, what's up, Craig?
Yo.
Oh, Craig, what's up?
Well, it's good,
What up,
man.
Craig?
Yeah,
Oh,
we
by
can't
the
hear
way,
you. T
Johnny,
Perfect, your mic is not working. T Perfect, we cannot hear you at all.
Johnny, by the way, speaking of the mic, I'm using my phone, but I remember you telling me once that to use my headphones so my phone doesn't overheat. Can you guys hear me good?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
it
Yeah, we
sounds
can.
good. It's perfect.
Yeah,
It's perfect.
you're actually good. The reason we ask people to use headphones is also because of the back feed. Because sometimes if you're not using headphones, your speaker will pick up your mic will pick up your speaker. So that's why you usually are asked to use your headphones. But you're good right now, Nino. You're actually good. You're really good. Craig, what's good, man? You got a chance to watch last night's game?
Nah, I had the
I guess I don't
kitties
think my headphones are working, but can
babysitting.
you hear me?
Yeah, we
Oh,
can hear you.
we can
We
hear
can
you
hear you
Okay,
now.
now.
We can
cool.
hear you now. Go ahead, Craig.
I missed the Phoenix game. I had the babysitting this weekend, so I really couldn't catch up on all the games this weekend. But did watch the highlights, and hey, y'all better put respect on Jamal Murray name. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, he looked good. He looked really good last night. Yeah, man.
Aaron Gordon looked good too.
Yeah, T Perfect. Thank you for joining Goat James Kingdom. This is the
Travis.
first
I
time.
think that's Travis, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mr. Blanket Chip. How you doing, Mr. Blanket Chip, man? Thank you
What's up,
for
gentlemen?
joining us. See, so now you can't tell nobody that we didn't send you the link. You are on officially on Goat James Kingdom panel. Like
We
we
see
told you.
palm trees.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah,
run
he
from
in
nobody.
Vegas. He in
Oh,
Vegas
yeah,
living it up.
He
Out
living
by
a
the
good
pool,
life.
man.
Living a
Oh,
good
yeah.
life. Oh man. Well, gentlemen, I can tell you one thing. What I can notice from last night's game. Let's let Brandon go in. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Brandon.
yeah. You just
Go
don't
ahead.
skip over me.
I'm
Anyways,
sorry.
so as I'm watching the game, just like I thought versus the Clippers series, that the Suns is not a complete team. They're just not a complete team. It's going to be hard for them to keep winning games the way they are, because you cannot play just 5 players. This is not the old NBA. 2 to 3 players is not going to lead you past anybody. You have to have a squad. And Denver has a full team. You have to guard everybody on their squad. The Suns, you don't. That's why the Lakers struggle for 2 years, because you can't win with 2 to 3 players. So I don't think the Suns is going to make it out of this round, because Denver is more of a complete team than them. And Kevin Durant, I know everyone says he's this certified bucket guy. He's unstoppable, but he's not as assertive as he needs to be. Like Booker, he's assertive. So they're going to go off of what Booker does. Kevin Durant sometimes can just get lost in the offense. So
Next year's Suns, that's all.
Travis, did you watch the game yesterday? Did you got any take on the game yesterday? Did you watch it at all?
Oh, I definitely did, man. Nuggets look good.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's like he said, it's just like if KD and Booker aren't like combining for 75 points, it's tough to win, because, Paul is going to be hit or miss. And then who else they got, like, outside of them, just like a bunch of streaky 3-point shooters. Ayton, I think, has been super overrated. And he's just going to be food for Jokic. So
Interesting. No, that is definitely interesting, because I feel the same way that you guys feel about the Suns. It kind of reminds me of the Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving thing, the KD, Kyrie Irving thing. It's like they were just playing iso ball. Let's just switch up. It's your turn. It's my turn. They were not really running real good sets. I don't think KD actually fits in any system besides Golden State's. That's the only offense that seems to know how to incorporate him so that he can be as dominant as he is as an ISO player, but also within different sets of their offense. It looks like everybody else who has KD just says, "Here, KD, get the
just
ball."
taking turns.
Yeah, here, get the ball here and do that. And that's not going to work against Denver Nuggets, because they're well coached and they have some good players that can play on the defensive side. So you're talking about Bruce Brown, and you're talking about Gordon, KCP. These guys are all good perimeter players, and then they can switch up, and it's looking like Monty Williams is a good coach, so I do see him making adjustments, like Ralph said. But I don't think they had enough time to really put an offense together that would work with KD. So I don't know if they're going to be able to do it to really take advantage of Denver. Denver looks really, really good, man. Denver really looks good. And like you said, their bench. I mean, they got Ogoji. Is that how you say his name? Ogoji. Who is the big center they brought in? The white boy.
They
Who
don't
is
got
that?
Ogoji.
Is that Ogoji? What's his name?
No, Ogoji.
It's not Ogoji. What's the name of the guy they had there? They have a guy over there, though.
I gotta look it up. I totally forgot.
On who?
On Phoenix.
Oh yeah, they have a Goji.
I thought you talk about the Denver. I don't know.
I thought he was talking about
Denver. I'm talking about.
They got Biombo.
I'm talking about
Biombo.
I'm talking about because Brandon brought up how they just have a 5-man.
Biombo and Landale are the backup centers.
Yeah.
Okay, Lindell is the white guy, right? The big white center yesterday, right?
Yeah.
That's it. I haven't watched too many Phoenix games with Kevin Durant. I mean, they've only played less than 20 games in general, but it doesn't look like they have a cohesion as a team. It looks like Devin Booker's a beast, Kevin Durant's a beast, but it's just here, just your turn, Booker. Here it's your turn, KD, and I don't think that's gonna work the whole playoffs. So.
And then Aiden just out there floating. He just out there floating. Like he don't fit off. He don't fit on that team. Even though he's like really talented, he just do not fit.
I mean, yeah, everybody got mad when they were trying to get rid of him, but now we
Aiton
see,
is
wow,
only
they wanted
effective
to get rid of him.
when the main weapons are out.
I don't think he's that bad. I just think that
He's good. He just
yeah,
they don't know how to use him.
They it's hard
They
to
have
use.
to feed him.
But it's hard to feed him, right? When you have to do that ISO stuff between Devin Booker and KD, because he said they're certified buckets, so you feel like they're going to get you a bucket easier than Aiton can.
I
He needs
feel
to
like
learn how to rebound, and that's it. That's his job now. He got
I mean,
KD and Booker. He needs to play defensive rebound. That's all he need to do.
That is his job now.
honestly, for me, Aiden is not that fit for that team. I feel like that more of a defensive presence would fit better on that team than Aiden, because Aiden's more offense and he gets lost on defense. So that's my take on that position.
I do think the prior team that they had, Aiden was like more effective because they actually needed his scoring. Now he just have to tip in the ball basically on offense and
Yeah,
set screen.
his role reduced.
Yeah.
And he has to play better on the defensive end too. I mean, with this type of team right here,
it's going to be
because
hard.
when you have two offensive power players like this, he's got to switch it up to where he's rebounding the ball, protecting the paint, playing the defensive post. That's what he has to do mainly. Because the reason, like when they had Bridges, he was a defensive wing to where he was that lockdown defender
They
to
invested
where
him on
it
Murray.
it
They
hid
traded offense.
Aiden's
They traded defense for
the
offense. That's
inside
what they did.
defensive.
Yeah, but the Denver Nuggets, and this is what makes Joker so great, is that the Denver Nuggets brings out that center. So right, Joker usually gets the ball at the top of the key or on the elbows.
Center.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, and then even with like Gordon and all, even when they went small yesterday, they put Gordon at center. It's like Aiden is going to be good, but it's hard for him to stay out there because those guys could easily go past him. It's going to be difficult for the Suns. They're going to have to figure something out. It's going to be a good series, but it's definitely looking suspicious as of game one. So
this was an experiment.
KD played some good defense yesterday too.
Oh, he did. Yeah, KD did
play some good defense.
Shout out to Zero. Peace out to Zero. Goat James Kingdom member. Thank you for joining us as usual. Shout out to everybody on our Facebook group, okay? Because we are all live on Facebook as we go right now. Brandon, we're live on your page, to be honest with you. So that's how we're allowed to go live. We're still under restriction as far as our Goat James Kingdom page. But I think we're allowed to comment now. So we might be able to continue doing the post of the day, folks. So shout out to everybody in our Facebook group. Shout out to everybody on TikTok and Instagram and Twitter, where you guys can find this at. But before we're going to move on, and start talking about the Lakers, because I know that's what Travis and Nino is here for. We're going
hold on real quick, Johnny, before you go into that. You just said a second ago that the page is on restriction. What happened?
I don't know. They claim that our Facebook page is in violations of some kind of community standards. We don't know what it is, even though it says that we have good, healthy standards, but we don't know what the violation is. We don't know if it's because we're a LeBron James page or if it's just people reporting us. But it's been down for 2 weeks now. We can't post, we can't share, comment, we can't do too many things. I commented today on the page, and the comment went through. So I think we can make comments, but we cannot post anything, share anything. We can't put nothing on our stories, none of that. We have over 200 followers.
So that's why
I like group is fine. I like group is fine, but we're going live in the group. It's just our page.
The group is fine. It's our page.
Yeah,
we have a Goat James Kingdom page. We have an actual page. It's an actual profile. But as far as the group goes, there's no problem. Everybody that's a member of the group or a visitor is still a public group. You have to make post approvals because we have too many spam. Okay, it's not because we don't want people to post. It's because we just have too much spam. We try to avoid all the crazy spam that comes through with groups that have the type of membership that we have. Also, we did
AKA that's the Jordan post that he spammed. That's what he means. AKA no Jordan post.
Also, we reached 20,000 members as of yesterday on our Facebook group. So thanks so much for everybody that follows us in the Goat James Kingdom group in Facebook. It's been a blessing to do this. Brandon and I have been doing this for a year now, as we stated, and we're going to keep growing and keep giving y'all good content because the GOAT is still playing basketball. football. So that's how that happens.
Yeah, back it up.
Nah, the
You know
GOAT
it's
not
them
playing
haters.
games.
You know them haters is the ones
He
coming.
not playing no more.
They flocking.
He better stop playing.
But listen, we're not
Let's go ahead and move on.
Yeah, we're not here for that.
Yeah.
We're not here for that.
Yeah, we're not.
We're here
You
for
started
him.
it.
We're here for him and Butler. Okay, him, Butler, and the Miami Heat versus Jalen Brunson and the New York Knicks, y'all. It is on and popping. Trust me, 305-954. Miami's on fire. Jimmy comes out of nowhere and does things like this only in the playoffs. I don't know why Jimmy does this. I don't know how he does this.
He told you. He said he takes a break during the season and get prepared for the play. He told you that.
I got some answers for that.
You got some answers for that. Well, listen, y'all already know about my Heat. I told y'all it's gonna be Heat in the Lakers, and I'm still in line for that. All right. So I got my Heat today. And let's go, Ralph. Come on, you the Knicks fan. You the number one Knicks fan.
Yeah, I got my Knicks.
Bring it. So
I got my Knicks.
So what you talking about with Jimmy? Who's gonna stop Jimmy today? Huh?
Like I'm gonna say this: Jimmy's not gonna get stopped, but I feel like we could slow him down by throwing multiple defenders on him because we have Quentin Grimes, we have Hart, we have RJ that we could throw numerous of people, and like. When I looked at that Miami Heat series, in that playoff, they shot crazy. They shot 52%. Oh, we got
Nino, mute yourself,
brother.
please. Mute yourself, Nino, please.
What did I do?
You making
noise.
There
was a lot of noise. There was a lot of noise.
Okay, appreciate you.
Oh, my bad.
So, he's back. Unmute that.
You gotta mute him.
He actually unmuted himself.
All right. So. When I look at that playoff series, Miami shot 52% from the field and 45% from the three, which was crazy. And during the regular season, they shot 46% from the field and 34% from the three. And like when I look at the Bucks, they didn't play no defense. They really didn't. Because if you look at where they held their opponents, they shot like their opponents shot against them was 46% from the field and 35% from the three. So that let me know that there was no defense on the Heat at all. And then when you look at when the Heat held their opponents at 48% from the field, and then they held their opponents from the three at 36. And then when I look at the Bucks where they shot at, the Bucks shot 48% from the field and 38% from the three. So it was really, when you look at that series, it was no defense. Miami actually stepped up their offense and outscored them. That's really what that was.
That's what Hemi Butler does, man. That's what playoff Jimmy do, man. Listen, the Heat are ready for y'all. Okay, we've been wanting y'all. We actually lost to Atlanta on purpose so we can see y'all. That's
come on, man. Whatever. But look at, like, when you look at my Knicks though. If you look at the Cavs of the regular season, they shot 49% from the field and 37% from the 3-point line. But in the playoffs, their numbers dropped at 44% from the field and 33% from the 3-point line. So that's how we were able to beat the Cavs. We played better defense on them.
No, definitely. I give you this, man.
And out-read them.
I give you this. Thibodeau is a defensive coach, right? And you name some good defenders. You got Barrett, you got Grimes, you got Hart. So you got some good perimeter defenders. You got Mitchell Robinson, you got Harkenstein, you got TikTok. I call Obi Toppin TikTok. You got Toppin and you got Randall, but Randall's not playing today.
Yeah.
So shout out to Quinn, man. What up, Quinn? I just see you popped up, man. What's up?
What's up? Y'all can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you well, man. We can hear you well, man.
Right.
So who else is interested in this Heat and Knicks conversation? Because me and Ralph can go all
probably just y'all two.
Don't do that, Brandon. Don't do that. Don't do that.
That's the truth.
I think they're gonna take this.
But to be honest,
bring up the graph, Brandon, for me, please, right quick, and then we get going because I know everybody wants to talk about LeBron, man. Because
one comment though, I do see the Heat in the finals.
Ooh,
we're not doing that. We're not doing that, Quinn. We're not doing that, Quinn. Nah.
Well,
the finals.
Well, the
It's
Knicks
gonna go 7 games though, but I think the Heat take it.
Yeah, we don't have
Everybody
Tyler
got my
Hero.
Knicks.
We don't have Tyler Hero. The Knicks,
Mhm.
the Knicks,
What
Oladipo.
Oladipo? Y'all
Yeah,
both shooting
Oladipo.
guards.
Yeah, they both gonna be out, but we fine because you know what? I like that we're not gonna have them because I think Duncan Robinson is actually a better option for us. He's a defensive liability, but on offense he makes everything so much different, man. He changes everything for the Heat. Teams are scared of Duncan Robinson because he can shoot without dribbling, literally.
So is Hero and are they out for the season for the playoffs?
Hero's available for the finals. If we make the finals, he'll be available for the finals.
Oh,
So
yeah, he out for the season.
We'll
We'll
see
see
him
him
in
next
October.
year.
But
We'll see him next year.
the Knicks did beat the Heat 3 times out of 4 times this year. And we faced each other 3 times recently. So it was just last month that the Heat and the Knicks went at it. I was at the game on the 22nd of last month where we beat the Knicks in our home floor. But as you can see, the Knicks have a good team. And the Heat actually are a weird team. This is why I always get mad at Pat Riley because we have 7 undrafted players on our roster. That's the most in the NBA in today's NBA. Pat Riley finds these guys. So people like Gabe Vincent, Caleb Martin, and Duncan Robinson are very important, and Max Strus. These guys are going to have to be very important against the Knicks because the Knicks are a very well-gelled team. Even without Randall, they can come up with some points. RJ Barrett can score. Brunson can score. They have a good
Josh
team.
Hart.
Quickly can score. Hart can come off the bench. Grimes. They have a great squad. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be a great game. I can't wait for 1 p.m. So thanks for letting us talk about it, fellas, because that's
Bam better play because last series he did not have a good series with the exception of that last game.
okay.
He played like trash.
Stop it. Well, but listen,
Man.
the Knicks have 3 players that average 20 points per game. So did the Heat without Tyler Hero. Bam averaged 20 and 9 this year. So, and like I tell people, man, you know what? The regular season is the regular season. The playoffs is different. You see what I'm saying? All that stuff that you were bringing about the regular season. There's no playoff Jimmy in the regular season, but there's playoff Jimmy today at 1 p.m.
But there was no defense. That's the thing. The
There's
Bucks
no
did not
defense for
play.
playoff Jimmy. There is no defense for playoff
The
Jimmy.
Bucks
Yeah,
didn't
what's
play.
no defense for that
Yo,
nigga?
hold on. Duncan Robinson shot 74% from the 3-point line. 74. They had 4 other players that shot over 40. That's how you know it was no defense in that series.
And all of that is because Jimmy Butler decided to take over the offense.
Man.
Once he
He shot 44.
But that's what I'm saying. Everybody's gonna be open. You can't leave those guys open. They're gonna hit him. Gabe Vincent's gonna hit him. Martin's gonna hit him. Strus is gonna hit him. Don't leave Duncan Robinson open. He'll go 7 for 7. He's one of the best 3-point shooters in the NBA, hands down.
Listen, I'm gonna bring this up because I have experience with Thibodeau. He screwed up. I think Randall got hurt because of what Thibodeau did before, and Thibodeau did this in Chicago too. Cleveland was up by 30 points at one point on New York in that game that Cleveland won. Thibodeau kept Brunson and Randall in when he shouldn't have. That's what killed basically Derrick Rose's career. He's going to keep making those same type of mistakes. That's what's going to cost New York.
Now, what hurt Randall in that game is like it was at the first quarter, and he landed on his ankle.
I know that,
but
but
he's not playing this game. He's not
playing.
Randall's out this game.
Yeah. What really hurt Randall is wearing them low cut shoes. I can't understand. I understand they're running faster. I understand that there's a faster NBA. It's a quick moving NBA, but man, I still don't understand how these guys play with low cut shoes. I just don't understand it. I really don't. So, but let's move on because you know what? LeBron James did his job Friday night. Okay, he got himself ready for the Warriors today. But guess who didn't get themselves prepared for today? The Warriors, because they let the Kings beat them on their home floor. So now they have to play a Game 7 in Sacramento, and De'Aaron Fox is looking great. And where is Stephen Curry? Brandon mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. Where is the Stephen Curry moment? Are we going to have a Stephen Curry day today, folks? What y'all think about? Is it going to be the Lakers and Kings, or is it going to be the Lakers and the Warriors?
I wouldn't be surprised if they blow that 3-1 lead again.
It's Game 7.
Yeah.
No, I thought
it was 3. It was 3-2. It was 3-2.
Oh, 3-2. Oh, okay.
3-2. It was 2-2.
It was 3-2. They went and beat them in Game 5 on the road and went back home. They won 3 in a row because they won Game 3, 4, and 5, and they went back home to win that game. And if they would have won that game 6, today would be Lakers and Warriors, but we don't have that. So now we have the Warriors and the Kings. So what do y'all think? I think the Kings are going to win, but what y'all think?
I think so too. Because that last game they played, when it started getting crunch time, and I just saw the Warriors just start throwing up stuff, I was like, yeah, it's like they mentally out of it now. They scared. They don't know what to do. They nervous. They just run around throwing up
I
all
don't
kind of
think they
shots.
scared. I think they're exhausted. I think they're exhausted.
I feel like
it was something because they was just chunking up all kind of crazy stuff. They weren't looking like themselves.
You got to
I feel
remember
like-
that Golden State team is old. The starting lineup, the average age is 34 years old. So,
And they're
I
tired.
feel like that Jordan Poole really killed them last game.
He did.
He was turning over the ball. He was missing. Like he had an open wide up dunk and he missed.
Oh man!
Nobody was
like,
under the basket.
Did y'all
It's
see
like
that
he
clip?
been playing terrible.
Hey,
you
anyone see
saw
that?
his reaction after he missed. I'm like, man, I don't
Anyone
think
see
they're
that
gonna win
clip?
this series.
Hey, anyone
Clay
see
was
that clip?
garbage too, though.
What happened, Quinn? Go ahead, Quinn.
What'd you say, Quinn?
I said, anyone see that clip of Jordan Poole pushing Draymond Green off of him? Draymond was trying to check his hand. He pushed him off, and then Gus had to go check.
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about when he was talking to the ref?
No, it was I guess last game. Draymond was trying to shake Poole's hand. He pushed him off of him. So Curry had to go check Poole. Like, yo, man, come on, man. But yeah, they ain't getting along, bro.
Don't get big now.
Travis. So what you mean? I know you want LeBron to face the Warriors, right? Is that your prediction? You want the Warriors?
I don't know, man. If they play like they did last game, like Clay was garbage, I think they should run a lot more stuff through Wiggins and Looney, just because I don't think that Sabonis is any kind of outstanding defender. Because their offense is so predictable right now. It's like you're going to have Curry handle the ball for 18 seconds and then have him take a contested three. So I don't know if they mix it up and play like they did in game like whatever 5 or 6 then or 4 or 5 then sure. But I think honestly it's going to be Sacramento with the home court and the Lakers because honestly Golden State just looked horrible. So they might be done.
He's always been overrated to me though.
I think in game 6, if you look at the half court offense, Golden State was very sluggish of moving the ball.
I'm telling you, they tired.
Yep.
Like Kings
They
play
were
so hard.
sluggish.
Kings so fast. They
Kings are hungry.
Golden State off the floor.
And it's that home floor for me. That being that Sacramento crowd is going to be real loud. They're going to have a lot of energy because of that. Monk is playing good coming off the bench. So it's going to be tough. I think Curry has to step up and have one of those games. He has to have one of those big games and those big moments because who else is going to do it for them? Klay Thompson? Maybe Klay Thompson can. What you think, Craig?
I mean, I really think Golden State gonna sneak one out today. I really do. But if they lose, I would just say, I will have Golden State winning because I can't see Sacramento as good as they are. I can't see them putting up a fight against the Lakers. Now, if Sacramento wins, the Lakers is making it to the Western Conference Finals. That's
can't doubt that because like they are running gun type of team. Like,
but they
I don't know.
Experience.
That ain't working with them now. They inexperienced at beating one of the most experienced teams in the NBA right now.
They're catching up. They just made it a game 7. That's all they did.
I think it's better for the NBA if it's the Warriors and the Lakers. If you talk about ratings and in that
of course.
sense, that but let's see if the NBA is still doing this. I don't know, but Craig has a point. Craig has a point. It is a game 7. The Warriors have been here before, but these are those moments where I don't remember Stephen Curry doing anything in a crucial game where he needed to step up and take over and win the series for his team. I don't remember it. So Brandon's brought that up before. But Craig, you said that the Lakers have to have the Kings to make it to the finals. They're going to make the finals.
No, I said it will be much easier for them to. It's automatic.
No,
in my opinion.
I say that.
It's easier if they play Golden State. I think the Kings going to be tougher for the Lakers.
Nah, they inexperienced. Come on now.
The Lakers match up better with Sacramento.
Think so?
A little bit, just because you have like who's going to guard. This is one of the few times I'll say like who's going to guard LeBron and AD. They're not like they're center down low, Well, Golden State, I think, has a beefier front court, but it's
You
it's
got
all
Harrison
matchup related.
Barnes. You got Harrison Barnes that can do. I'm not saying he's gonna shut down LeBron, but he could do a good service. He can put out
Yeah, I
good
get what he's
serviceable
saying. Yeah,
minutes, like what he
Wiggins ain't
did
like better
in the.
defender. Yeah.
I like to see LeBron get his
But
revenge on
yeah, I
Golden
do.
State, man.
Mhm.
Hey, I was thinking that
That'd
too,
be
but
dope.
I don't think the Warriors gonna win. I feel like it's gonna be Kings. Fourth quarter, Warriors just gonna play like they did this last game.
Hey,
Mm,
they did
I feel like
LeBron dirty. Hey, they did LeBron dirty, man. They when they went and got KD, that was just foul as hell. That's why I don't like KD. I don't like KD at all, man. Yeah.
I want to see go. I got Golden State winning Game 7 for the fact that they did some film. They looked over the film and everything within the Game 6, and by them being a veteran team, I feel like they could capitalize off their mistakes.
Right, but personally, I
Man,
just
Curry,
think the Kings should just play harder. I just think
yeah,
the Kings just play
They
harder.
do.
harder
The
and a
Kings
lot
look way more
faster.
hungry.
They
Yeah.
were
Draymond
running
gonna
around
step
Golden State
on
ass.
what's his call a hand, and that's gonna be a wrap or something. He gonna
David
find
said,
some way to get to that hand.
Steve Kerr and the Kings coach ain't talking about y'all just got to play hard today. They gonna play hard. Both teams are gonna play hard. It's gonna be a good game though. It's gonna be a good game because that Sacramento crowd, man. I don't know what it is about Sacramento, Golden State's crowd. Dallas's crowd. Sometimes those arenas just get real loud, man. They
Yeah,
have
Northern
New York,
California.
that New York crowd. That crowd is going to be crazy today in New York. I could only imagine what's going to happen.
Yes.
So
When the last time the Knicks had home court advantage in anything?
Hold on, don't
Maybe
do that.
it was like
2013.
99. No, it was even
Don't do that.
99.
No,
Oh
No,
yeah, it was
2013.
99. They was
Y'all
an
stop
8
doing
seed.
my Knicks like that.
Hey,
No, we was
that
second
was
seed.
before
We
that
was
was
second
before the
seed
color TV
2013.
came out.
Yo, y'all gonna stop trashing my Knicks.
So listen. It's a wrap. It's a wrap for the East because it's Miami Heat, and it's a wrap for the West. It's
Nah,
the
we're
Lakers.
not doing that.
What is the
Boston.
challenge? What's the challenge to the Lakers? Do y'all really think the Lakers are going to make the NBA Finals, or do you think this is it? This is just the first round celebration for us?
If they
They
face the Kings
exposed.
They
in
healthy,
the
They
so
in
it's a
exposed the
wrap.
Denver in the
Grizzlies.
next round, they making the finals.
They healthy, it's a
Go
wrap.
ahead, Travis. What you said? They exposed the Grizzlies. Go ahead, Travis.
So the Grizzlies, I think, are the most overrated 2 seed of all time. Like, if you look at their offense, they were playing the most. It didn't help that they shot like 30% for the game. That was insane. They were missing like every open three, and then you just had D'Lo and like everyone else having the career night shooting the ball. And yeah, they played really good defense as well. But the Grizzlies had Ja plays the most selfish style of ball I've ever seen. He tried to like go in. LeBron smartly took like 3 charge fouls from him. I mean, that was like he had like open guys on a perimeter like 4 or 5 times. Chose to dribble it into a crowd. Just like the worst coaching I've ever seen. And like hey, full credit to the Lakers. They played amazingly, especially that last game. But the Grizzlies were just garbage for like the last. If Bane didn't carry them in like the game 5, it would have been a wrap in 4, I think.
Well, you look at the Grizzlies; they're not a shooting team, so it's like the game plan that the Lakers came with was like they executed perfectly to where they played the inside and dared the shooters to shoot. And then when you seen Luke Kennard went down, that was their like one of their
Best
shooters
player,
on
really.
that team.
Best
So
offensive
it's
player.
like
Yeah,
all you
Adams
got
wasn't
is
there either, so
Bane
that
as a
sucks.
shooter. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a wrap.
Yeah,
yeah.
Bang, man.
The
I
Lakers
ain't
only
going
shot
like that.
the Lakers only shot 31% from 3-point land as well, too. So it's it was really the Lakers defense because Vanderbilt, Tremora, LeBron, Schroeder, AD, especially AD outplayed defensively
monster.
the defensive
he
player of the
did.
year.
He
He outplayed
was
the
the
defensive
best.
player of the year.
He was the best player in that series.
Easily.
Ralph, do you
Best
think the
player in
Lakers
that
gonna
series.
get to the finals though?
Slow
Hey,
No, he
down.
Ralph, you think
was.
the Lakers gonna get to
Let's
the
be
finals?
objective. He was.
No.
How?
He
How?
was.
The best
By
defensive
what
player.
measurement, Ralph? By what measurement,
defensively,
Ralph?
yeah.
By what measurement, Ralph?
Hold on. Wait. I'm gonna get
I
to
say
that.
defensively.
You should have been prepared. Don't
What
be
did Ralph
doing
say?
It-
He said
I saw it yesterday. I gotta bring it back
he said
up.
AD was the best player on the Lakers for the series.
He was the most important for sure.
All right,
Defensively, I think
let's
he's
not
the
lie
best.
here, man. Austin Reeves saved the Lakers' ass.
Who?
Austin Reeves saved that series.
Nah.
I mean, if you look at the game, that LeBron, If
He
you
just
look
won
at the
by 40
game that
points.
LeBron had 20 points and 20 rebounds, he
Uh-huh.
only scored 4 points in the fourth quarter and overtime. Not to mention the fact there is no way in hell the Lakers should have been in that position to try to tie the game with less than 3 seconds left when Memphis missed 62 shots that game. They shot less than 40%. Who the fuck misses 62% of the shots in the
It
game
happens
and
in
still has the
basketball.
lead with 5 seconds left?
What?
It's
I
basketball.
think
It
people
happens
put
in basketball.
people hold on. People put unreal expectations on LeBron. He's 20 years, man. Like he can't do
He on the
everything,
court.
bro. He got to have teammates helping him out.
Okay, you can't keep
Whose thoughts is
screaming
that?
about LeBron being in year 20. He's 38. He's putting up all these stats. And then when I bring up something like that, which is an actual fact, that Memphis missed 62 shots and they still couldn't take the lead, you can't sit there and say, oh, you can't put everything on LeBron. You can't praise him for something and then try to defend him for the same thing. It doesn't
But
work like that.
what are we
But it's a
defending him
team
from?
What are we
sport.
defending
Yeah,
about?
Wait,
it
who's
All
don't
right,
making no sense.
hold on.
making that noise? Who's making
Yeah,
that
who's
noise?
got that
I have
noise?
no idea.
Hold on one second.
Somebody got to mute that,
Hey,
please.
It's
I
Nino.
want to get to you, Johnny,
Go,
of
go.
your question.
Okay, yeah. After that, you can go, Travis. After Ralph, Travis, you'll go.
The only thing that LeBron had over AD was points and assists. AD
Mhm.
cleared the rest of the stat line, so that's what made me say that AD was the better player in that series.
Defensively, he was.
He's in
I
his
mean,
prime.
he controlled the
I'm
game.
saying
Like Anthony Davis
Right.
controlled the game. So
Yeah, I think yeah,
they
overall.
actually won
because
by what Anthony Davis did.
he had 2 games where Anthony Davis was just mediocre, even though he was still
Yeah.
rebounding and playing defense as far as
Yeah.
offensively. And then LeBron had the one game in Game 5 where he didn't play too well.
Yeah, well, they were flip flopping.
Yeah, they were again. LeBron averaged 22, 11, and 5, 1 steal and 1.3 blocks. AD averaged 21, 14, 2, and 1.5 steals, or 1.3 steals, and 4 blocks per game. So it shows right there that the 4 blocks on the defensive side.
Yeah.
And
he
then
was-
look
he
at the
was balling.
shooter splits too. Look at the
Defensively,
shooter
he was a
splits.
beast.
Yeah, I mean, they both shot about 49%, right? But LeBron James shot horrible from the free throw and shot completely horrible from the 3-point man. He was one for 9 in Game 5, and then 1 for 7 in Game 6. So
Yeah,
that alone,
that's why I
horrible.
said when you look at that, the determination, AD actually was the better player on that in that series.
So, Johnny, you think
Who's the
LeBron
best
played
player on
better
the
than
team?
AD?
The game score is 18.6 LeBron, 19.8 AD. So go ahead, Travis.
No, what I'll say is, I mean, I'll give an unbiased take. I'll just say that it was a balanced series from the Lakers. I do think AD was their anchor.
LeBron was 18.6.
Yeah, I mean, LeBron had a couple great games. Got his usual numbers. The real key though is like you have the role players just lights out on certain games. Like Russell basically bailed them out of Game 4 when they were down early, or they were down kind of in the fourth quarter. He brought them back.
Mhm.
Otherwise, who knows what happens in that game? But yeah, it was a team effort all the way from him. Russell Reeves was out there. You had dude, I can't even remember his name. The guy they drafted, Shio or something, whatever the hell his name is. You'll have to remind me. The guy they picked up in the trade.
Rui.
Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt, but also,
Rui Hachimura was balling this series.
He game 1. He had the game 1. But
yeah, but they were just lights out, man. So I mean, if they keep playing like that, it's gonna be tough. I still think the Nuggets are coming out of the West, but you can't really write off anyone, especially if they play to their potential.
Yeah, the Nuggets look good. I agree.
And Nuggets look good.
I mean, it's a playoff, so it's all about balancing, reading the team, because you're going to be playing them more than one time. So you'll get time to make sets, do film study. It's all who makes the better schemes during the season, during the series, who would win.
Yeah, that's why I said that the Clippers are probably one of the dumbest teams in the NBA. They had a chance to actually be the 7th seed, but they're so slow that they wanted to win. There's no way on earth I would say I want the Suns instead of playing in the play-in. If you are afraid of the teams in the play-in, why are you playing the Suns? They should have purposely lost that game so they could be the 7th seed. But they gave the Lakers the 7th seed and the easier route because they're not that bright. They're just not doing it. I
They
don't.
the
I
type
don't
to work
understand
harder,
it.
not smarter.
Like, nobody is afraid of Memphis. They came in hurt, and that team is just not a great team. Like the Lakers had the easiest route in the first round because they was in the play-in, and they were
I think
not
Ja's the
afraid
most
of the
overrated player in
play-in
the
team.
NBA.
Well, you know what? I give Ja this though. I
I
mean,
agree
you
with
guys,
that.
Travis, you brought up something.
Fact.
Most overrated player.
John Morant, though, I got to give John Morant his credit for taking accountability and talking about how on the court and off the court he needed to have more discipline, be a better player in general. So, like he said, they don't have a leader on that team. So, if he is the leader of that team, he did take accountability for that and state that they were just not mature enough for what they're trying to accomplish. So,
They need to. They shouldn't have. They need to leave Uncle Ruckus alone. Shannon Sharp.
Yeah.
Ever since that day with Shannon, they haven't been the same team. You're right.
Yeah, well,
That
Uncle
is
Ruckus.
No, ever since they made that comment, well, we good on the West.
Well,
Oh yeah, everybody
that was
been
John
for his head.
That's John Morant. That's John Morant who said that. Okay, but you know what? Now that we're talking about that, we have to mention how my Heat had Giannis go off on a reporter. What do you guys think about Giannis's comment?
I listened to that entire thing.
This is what
and
we
like,
gonna do.
I listened to that. I listened to that entire interview, and he was. I thought he actually worded it pretty well. I mean, like he brought up Mike, and like the reporter was like, he's a failure, and then the guy he actually was like, hey, do you get promoted every year? And he's like, no. He's like, okay, well then, how long you been doing the job? Like 12 years. So, I mean, he could have just been like, I would have just said, yeah, it's on me. We just need to get better as a team. But I see where he was coming from. He was just being defensive in the moment. So
Felt like it was pouting.
I'd have been arrogant. I mean, I just signed
You
$200
the
mil.
best
They don't
player.
let that fail
He's tired of
anything.
hearing it. That's all. He's tired
It's
of
like
hearing it.
you the best player on that team. I think what he's who was that? Travis, was that you?
yeah,
I think you nailed it right on the nose. Take accountability and then say, hey, we got to come back stronger.
He did say that though. That's what he
he
said.
did. Yeah, he said that at the end.
They asked him
Basically said
if
that.
he's a failure. Yeah.
I
He
just
said
felt like he
I
got
thought-
emotional by saying all that extra stuff, though.
No,
Yeah,
I
he
thought-
broke the
He's
whole
just being
thing. You asked him a
honest.
question 2 years in
He's
a
being
row, so of
honest.
course I'm gonna be salty.
Yeah.
Dang, you got eliminated twice. Is it a
Nino,
failure? You gonna ask me that again?
Nino, what do you think about his failure comment? What do you think? Nino.
I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people in the James group were saying that he was trying to knock what Jordan did. That's what they were. A lot of people, but that's not what he was saying. He was trying to mock people, saying Jordan won 6 times in 15 years. That mean he failed because he didn't win 9. He was trying to tell people it was stupid to think he was a failure because he couldn't. He's not winning every year, which is the truth. They didn't play their ball the game that they normally play the entire series, and it was pretty damn obvious. I mean, even with Hero out, it was pretty damn obvious the Heat wanted it more than Milwaukee. I mean,
yeah.
He missed 2.5 games. He did miss 2.5 games in the series, very crucial games.
Yeah, he did,
He
and that didn't help him
build momentum. That's what I'm saying. That he were able to build momentum, which matters in the playoffs. That
They
momentum,
right.
won without him, though.
The one thing Giannis has to work on, and I think everybody can agree on this, the motherfucker needs to start learning how to make free throws. That dude.
Shoot, period.
I mean, his free throw. You shouldn't be shooting 10 3-point shots a game if your free throw percentage is only 64%, which is what Giannis's was.
Well,
He
listen,
took
he can shoot.
23.
If he can
That's
get
crazy.
to 30% above in 3-point shooting, it helps his game because he is unstoppable getting to the rim. But before we get to that, I before my comment, Quinn,
Yo,
what you think about what Giannis said? You got anything to take on? Any take on that?
I missed it. That's why I
You
don't
missed it?
even know. I'm listening. Yeah.
Okay, because
I missed
I thought
that.
it was brilliant that he brought up Michael Jordan because it was perfect for what he was trying to say.
Oh, take the
Because-
guys.
No, because the notion is Michael Jordan had failures to build to his success, right? To become as dominant as he was.
Well, he
So-
said it out his mouth.
Huh? What happened?
Jordan said that himself.
Out of his mouth.
Yeah,
No,
he
that's-
said that as well.
So him bringing
right.
up the whole Michael Jordan thing is because he knew the guy was going to say no. The 9 seasons are not a failure for Michael Jordan. So that's what he was just trying to explain to him. These are steps to success. We obviously got to get better. He said that. I got to get better. We got to get better. We can't have a 10-day stretch where we play this type of basketball. So he really was just frustrated, obviously, because the guy asked a dumb question. Like he said, it's the wrong question. It's the wrong question. Like, am I disappointed? Yes, of course I'm disappointed. I didn't want to lose to the Heat. I didn't come out here trying to lose. I went out here getting back massages in the middle of a game because I wanted to lose. I'm out here trying. Like y'all gotta understand. We try. Like we have a goal. He was. You don't see him. The guy was doing the thing with the gun. Like he said, we had a goal. We worked hard. We worked hard to get to this point, but we just couldn't do it from here on out. And it's all right. We lost. Yeah, we're gonna come back next year though. We're not gonna quit like Jordan.
The NBA needs to actually figure out the major problem that's going on right now. There's a lot of stars getting hurt really easily lately.
Well, stars always get hurt. It's the NBA, man. It's sports. People get hurt.
But it's happening. It's happening a lot lately.
Basketball is in general because if you look at high school, they play so much basketball all the way up into high school, college, and then the NBA. They don't really have time to let their bodies rest. So when you're playing in the NBA, you're playing at a high level that's more wear and tear on your body. So then that's when all the injuries and shit start happening.
I mean, it's like they're just playing at a faster pace today. Like it's going to happen. If they're playing at a slower pace, it's going to be less injuries. They're playing at a much faster pace than they did before. They're not walking the ball up and pass the ball in the post and standing around. No, they're moving 10 times as fast as before. Yeah. So injuries going to happen.
ISO ball, you got to stand up above the free throw line and let the dude down there work.
I have a question for everybody on the panel. What's y'all take on Kawhi Leonard right now? Like getting this torn meniscus now. It's like that's that same knee that I believe he messed up last time.
Yeah. The guy should just retire.
I think Kawhi don't care. He's just milking the league. I think milking the league. He don't care.
I think he won his titles. He's been hurt.
But he's been hurt. But he's won his titles. He's been he done everything. He ain't got nothing to prove. As long as he can get a check, he's gonna be cool.
I agree with what was the guy at the bottom name? T Perfect. I agree with what he said. Kawhi is the most overrated player in the league.
I think that's overrated.
He said John Morant. He said John Morant. No, was it John Morant?
Yeah, he said John.
Kawhi wasn't it?
No, he said John Morant.
I don't think Kawhi is overrated. I just feel like don't stay on the court.
He said John. Ernest.
John. Kawhi ain't man. Kawhi haven't been doing nothing since he went to LA. He did the little commercial, had the little crown on his keychain, ain't did shit.
He on vacation, man.
That's the best thing he really did in LA was have the crown on it, make the commercial.
I think he on vacation.
When Kawhi is on the court, he's dangerous. Like he's that dude, but he's just got to be on the court.
Whenever
he's exactly Brandon easily in 2 games.
I think that's
you see like when he's on the court.
Yeah, he's no longer the primary guy for your team. He would be a great asset to a team if you can get him at the veteran, exception type of thing. He's no longer going to give you 30-something minutes.
He ain't playing for that.
He can if he wants to. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
he can if he wants to.
Well, the thing with Kawhi, you see, like when he was when they were going against the Suns, like games 1 and 2, he was out there. He was like being that guy. He was like locked down, great 2-way player. But then you just know he's like gonna go down sometimes in the series, and he just at this point he's just like completely unreliable, just like Paul George. And like I
feel like
I'm glad you told me. I'm glad you said because Quinn.
Yo,
didn't you post today? You just waiting for Chris Paul to go down? And wasn't that one of your posts today?
Come on, bro.
No, I'm not waiting for it.
Him like that.
No, I'm not waiting for it. It just always happens. That train's never late.
A whole starting 5 can go down.
Yeah, because Travis just brought it up for Kawhi, and it's true when we think about it, right? CP3 it always happens in the playoffs. For
always
CP3.
happens. I was waiting.
I'm just waiting. He
didn't go down last year.
Yeah, he did play He played last year though.
But he lost.
But when he went to the finals, he didn't go down. When they went to the finals, he didn't go down.
No, he didn't.
Remember in the first series versus the Lakers, he was hurt. His shoulder.
He got hurt early.
Yeah, he was hurt. That's right. That was. Yeah, his shoulder was hurt. But he still played through it though, right?
Yeah. I think he missed a game.
Yeah, but
he missed 1 game, but still he played through it.
But we talked about the Clippers last week or 2 weeks ago. We talked about Kawhi, and then we figured it was a done deal for them. They're gonna have to revamp something. They still have him under contract for this year and next year, right?
Him and Paul George are like $48 million each. Like they'll
be all right. Listen,
There's
getting
nothing wrong.
paid.
The NBA is good. The ratings for the NBA was at its highest for a long time this year. The playoff ratings are up. The NBA has, streaming now. It's they're making money. Their new contract deal for the TV is going to be enormous for them. So they're going to be good. So contracts are going to keep getting better. These $40 million deals are going to be nothing no more. Because again, Kawhi's not going to get another one. PG's not going to get another one. So
I feel like with Kawhi though, I feel like he's a number one option talent, but he needs to play that second option role to actually be on the court. Because if he
It's not gonna
exerts
help.
himself so much, now I think it would. Because like if
Well,
he's the
he
primary
can't
number one
play.
option, yeah.
Yeah.
Once
And
I'm saying once
his
he on the
body won't
court,
hold up. Like he
He
can
got a
play
bench
half
body.
speed and get hurt.
I think
Like
Kawhi said, "I'm gonna play."
it don't matter if he's a second or third player. His knee is gone. It's been gone ever
his
since
knee
he
is
was in
over.
the Spurs.
Listen, people need to realize that the Kawhi from Toronto is not going to be that Kawhi anymore. That's what people need to realize.
And that
It's
Kawhi
over.
in the finals was limping. That Kawhi
Yeah, he was hurt.
they
He
said
was
they
hurt.
said that
He was
about
hurt
D
in the finals.
Rose. They said that about D Rose. I mean, his play has diminished, but he's been available though.
That's what I'm
That's why
saying.
I
He could be
said
available for 15, 20 minutes for a team eventually, but he's no longer the
I
30
don't think
minute
he's
starter.
gonna be.
I
He's not
think
gonna
a
do
good
that.
I think 30
He's not a
minutes
bench
is the
player.
cap for him.
Nah.
It's just that
25.
he doesn't need that number one option role to where he's taking on everything. If he had a player like that to where he's playing that Robin to a Batman, I feel like he could sustain better. Like if Paul George and him, well, Paul George is an injury
I mean,
himself, so
I
I can't even
don't
say
think
that.
anything is gonna help Kawhi play more minutes.
Nigga
Nothing's
almost broke
gonna
his
help him play
whole.
more
He need
minutes.
a body
He almost broke his
replacement.
whole leg off in the game.
Basically,
Now
he needs a
imagine if
new
they,
leg.
imagine if
Iron
they,
Man suit when
Hey,
you get on the court.
imagine how dangerous the Clippers would have been if they kept Shy instead of trading for George.
Yeah. Hey, Paul George get hurt so much he almost broke his whole foot off in the game.
Yeah, that's
But
why
he was
I
healthy
retract
up
my
until that
statement,
point.
Quinn. I was like, well, you put Paul
Oh
George. Nah, he
man,
can't even do that. He get hurt as much as
he
him.
almost tore his
All
whole
right,
foot off.
so it sounds like the only hope to stopping GOAT James from getting his 5th NBA title this year is the Denver Nuggets and the Joker. And I don't see them doing that. Oh, it's only Jimmy Butler, baby. It's only my Heat, man. Oh man, we got a few more minutes before
Regular. I don't know
Yeah,
about
if Lakers
regular
get to the finals,
LeBron
they win in the
James.
finals.
I'm not gonna call him that, but I don't know about LeBron James. Got an easy path to the Western
The
Conference
Lakers
Finals
ain't getting
because
to the finals.
Hey, let's
If they do though, they
either
win.
or.
hey,
Like
don't. My bad.
both of
Nino,
those.
you said they weren't making the playoffs just 4 months ago.
Okay, but when I said that, that was before the February trade deadline. The February trade deadline literally saved the Lakers because if James missed 6 or 7 games during that time that the Lakers, it's the truth. Because before the trade
That's so
deadline,
funny.
the Lakers were 26-30 and they were the 13th seed. They made that trade.
Okay.
LeBron went down, I think it was 6 or 7 games. After that trade, they went 17-9. They were 26-30 before that trade, and they were a 13th seed. Those trades literally saved their season.
Let
They don't
me ask
make
you a
the
question, Nino.
what?
When you were saying the Lakers weren't gonna make it before, did you know that they had a trade deadline coming up later on that season, right? So why you get that?
Yeah, and they normally were, and nobody can argue this because if you look at last year and the year before, the Lakers were silent at the trade deadline. I didn't expected them to do. Go ahead, Johnny.
No, you said you was expecting them to make some trades, right? You thought they were going to make
No,
some trades,
I wasn't expecting them to do. I was expecting them to sit pat just like they did the last 2 seasons, and they didn't.
So this time LeBron James has nothing to do with the Lakers acquiring players, right? This time it wasn't on LeBron's watch.
Now LeBron didn't have nothing to do with that. That was
now LeBron has nothing to do with this.
To be honest, listen. I'm gonna say this. We could say LeBron had something to do with it or didn't have something to do with it, but we're not really gonna know because the only people that are really gonna know are behind the scenes.
Y'all didn't know all the
he
other
got
times y'all
Rondo.
said he had something
He
to
went
do with
got
trade.
AD. He traded. But from my understanding, he traded away Randall. He traded away Kuzma.
Nah, he didn't trade away Randall.
I never said anything about Randall.
Randall left on his own.
There's a nickname for LeBron
Jordan
called.
Clark.
Yeah, there's a nickname for LeBron called Le GM.
GM.
Now all of a sudden, this trade deadline works very well for the Lakers, and LeBron had nothing to do.
No.
with these players.
Let me say this: the past couple of years, LeBron has been staying out of it. I gotta say that he's been staying out of it.
Hold on. I'm gonna bring this up. Okay, here's the thing: when LeBron has recruited. LeBron has actually came out and said he wanted them to go after AD. When he literally joined forces with Wade and Bosh. This isn't a LeBron that jumped from one team to another. That when this stuff happened this year, these are trades that were done because LeBron has been complaining all year that he needs shooters on the team.
So he didn't sign off on Digo. He didn't sign off on Vanderbilt. He didn't sign off on Tremura.
No, I have no idea.
He signed off on Westbrook, right? He signed off on Westbrook, right?
He signed off on Westbrook, yes.
Okay, he signed off on Melo, right? He signed off on Melo, right? He signed off on Melo, right?
He been wanting. To be fair, he been wanting to play with Melo for a long time, though.
He wanted Buddy Hield. He wanted Buddy Hield.
The only bogus trade.
No, he did want Buddy Hield. I remember that. I remember hearing about that. He did want Buddy Hield.
Hey, the only bogus trade he did was Wiggins, though. He shouldn't have. He did Wiggins, bogus. I thought he should have kept.
Hey, Travis.
What's up?
Are you a GM person? Do you believe LeBron James acquires players for his teams or not?
No. Sorry, hold on.
Okay.
I would just say, I mean, I don't really. I buy into it a little bit just because but I don't. Obviously, LeBron's not back there like printing the contracts and signing them and like making the calls. I don't really think it matters. I think the Lakers did need to improve their roster because the reason they were 26 and whatever was because they played no defense at all. And then when they made those moves, and yeah, they needed shooters. I think bringing in Russell, especially, and getting rid of Westbrook, even though I think Westbrook's underrated, he stifled their ball movement a little bit. It really just depends. Like, they were going through AD, LeBron was missing games, everyone was, it was just kind of a mess. But then they got these guys who, brought a lot of energy, and they just started playing good ball. I think LeBron has in the past earned the moniker a little bit, but I don't really think that's like something I'd use to like knock his legacy or anything. But I think that the team was stagnant, and they really need to make some moves. They did, and they turned it around.
Yeah. Great observation.
They needed to just get younger. That was the whole point. That was the oldest.
That's shooters. As simple as that. They got people to make open shots.
I mean, if you younger, you more energetic to one to play defense and two to shoot better. I mean, the most important thing they needed was the shooters, but you still need the defense to make sure you have more points than them at the end of the game.
You know what? We can't lie. Aside from the trades, the Lakers found a diamond in the rough. I mean, you can't knock that. Out of Austin Reeves has come out of nowhere and just shined since he's basically come off the bench.
Yeah, he's been playing with LeBron for 2 years.
Yeah, one thing I will say also,
the GOAT makes that happen.
It's crazy. He played with LeBron for 2 years, and y'all say it's because of LeBron.
You're trying to say James has to do with Reeves? Are you nuts? Reeves got brought in because James was hurt. And when they saw what Reeves was doing when James was hurt, that's when that shit came out. It had nothing to do with LeBron, or else Reeves wouldn't have been sitting on the bench last year.
One thing I will say, though,
Austin Reeves said it.
Go ahead, Travis.
LeBron put Austin Reeves on. He wouldn't even playing.
People always lying.
Go ahead, Travis. See what you said, Travis.
Just say one thing I will say though is like when there was only like 16 games left or whatever, and LeBron went down for those 7 or 8 games, I think the Lakers, for all intents and purposes, were trying to mail it in. But then I think the Lakers just had a lot better ball movement. They played better defense, and they turned it around there. And when LeBron came back, they were 8th, 7th, or 8th, and they were 13 when he went down. So I mean, I'm not saying that like they're always going to be a better team without him, but I think they really found out what their acquisitions could do without a guy taking 19 shots a game. And, everyone else is getting a little bit more distribution. And, yeah, yes, I realize LeBron's 38, and to his credit, he has been playing really good defense this postseason, but he didn't play lick of defense all season long. And so I think that was a huge contribution why they were where they're at. But hey, to his credit, he's turned it around. He has like the second or third best defensive rating in the playoffs right now, currently, which is huge. And we'll see what they can do.
You see how
Brown's trying to break that record.
You see how much better you sound now than you do on the Facebook comment. Thank you.
Oh
Travis,
my
for being
God.
a real good man. Thank you, Travis.
Jesus Christ, you hear this guy?
No, I'm just saying he was very objective and he was dropping knowledge. He was dropping facts. What do you do? Listen, Travis has been a part of our group for a while. You guys don't understand. Nino, Travis are part of the GOAT James Kingdom group in Facebook. They always come comment on Brandon and I. He was invited on the show to talk, and he's he right there. He gave us some good objective information. That was great. Appreciate that. But the Lakers do look good, and it's time for the Heat and the Knicks, y'all. I don't know if y'all want to keep y'all conversation going, but I'm gonna get my face.
We're gonna keep it going. You guys don't even get off.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you guys have a good one. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you hit the share button. Y'all make sure y'all check out the GOAT James Kingdom membership, okay, on YouTube, because we got perks for everybody. We sending out shirts all the time. Let's go Heat. Ralph, I'll see you shortly, sir.
Yeah.
Y'all peace, fellas.
All right, man. Peace.
All right, y'all. So we've been debating this LeBron and Jordan thing, and I'm pretty sure y'all want to keep this going with Nino. That's probably why Ernest want to get on with Nino. So all right, you guys go ahead.
Oh no! You know what? I'm going to ask the question. I want him to stop ducking it. Where's the proof that Wade said that he was not in his prime when he joined LeBron?
This man been asking the same question for 2 weeks.
And because you haven't answered it. It came out of your mouth. It came out of your mouth. Back it up.
I'm going to say the same thing I said that started this conversation. During the Heat run, Wade was not in his prime.
Your own article said Wade was in his prime through the 2010-2011 season. Is that not during their prime, during their run? Yes or no?
Just like the other 3 years is during their prime, during their run.
Oh my God! Was 2010, 2011 during the run? Yes or no?
Do y'all hear? Do y'all hear how this don't make sense? 1 year was during their run, but the other 3 wasn't.
I never said it wasn't, but you said he was. But you said he was never in his prime when they joined LeBron. Yes, you did. I have a screenshot of it.
I'm gonna repeat. During the Heat run, Wade was not in his prime, just like Bosh was. When they teamed up, they was not getting the same players. Y'all need to stop this lying, saying LeBron having all these prime players and all these.
Are you nuts? You guys live on using all NBA as your argument, saying LeBron had to play against all these all NBA players in the West. If that's your argument of who he had to play against, you can't try to say, well, this is because he wasn't at peak. Wade was all NBA 3 of the 4 years he was with LeBron.
So you can't. Wade was in his prime the whole time he was playing with the Heat?
No, he wasn't in his prime, but he was still all NBA. Just because somebody wasn't in their prime doesn't. All NBA means you're one of the best players in the league. That's what the award is for. So, if you're going to argue that LeBron was playing against all NBA, you can't try to make an excuse of him playing with one.
So I'm gonna use your logic. On the Bulls, before Scottie Pippen came, was Gilmore and Gervin in their prime?
No, they were in their last season. Gervin averaged 10 points a game when he played with Jordan, and Gervin even admitted that he shouldn't have even played that season.
Just like Wade kept complaining.
No, because Wade was all NBA. Wade was all NBA 3 of the first 4 years they were together. You can't compare the two.
You're not making no sense.
How am I not making no sense? Gervin was in his last season and he averaged 10 points a game.
If you can't put up the same production, you consistently. If you're constantly hurt and constantly being injured, can't stay healthy, missing games, crying over pain, getting all these surgeries, you can't stay healthy. You cannot be in your prime.
How are you all NBA? How are you all NBA if you're still not one of the best players in the league?
Prime is production.
You're not answering the question. How are you all NBA if you're not one of the best players in the league?
You still can play good and not be in your prime.
I'm not saying he wasn't in his. I'm not saying he was in his prime in his
That's
second
my
and
whole
third and
thing. He
fourth.
wasn't in his prime.
He was
Right.
still one of the best players in the
Nino
league.
agrees that Wade was not in his prime the last 3 seasons, right?
I agree with that, but he was still one of the best players in the league. You can't compare that with a Gervin who was in his last season.
So y'all saying Wade wasn't in his prime when he's playing with LeBron?
Wait, say that again.
You're saying that Wade wasn't in his prime when he was playing with LeBron?
He was in the last season of his, let's say, peak, near peak Wade in his first season with LeBron. He started tailing
2008, 2009.
Right, and he was still in his prime. His first season, he was at the tail end of his prime, but he was still in his prime. His first season with LeBron,
So
and no matter how
Wade was not in his prime. Thank you.
But he was also in his prime during that time as well.
Ain't him and LeBron the same age?
He's 2 years. He's 2 years older than LeBron.
Oh, he's older than LeBron.
He's 2 years older than LeBron.
Okay, so basically, Ernest is saying the 4 years Wade was not in his prime, and Nina was saying just one of those years he was in his prime. Is that right?
Yes, but here's the thing. Even when he wasn't in his prime, he was still one of the best players in the league. You guys keep comparing.
He wasn't in his prime. Yeah.
Right, but you guys keep comparing, especially Ernest. You can't compare somebody that was still considered one of the best players in the league to Gervin, who was in the last year of his career.
So let me ask you this, Nino. So why did you bring up the Lakers having all of those Hall of Fame players last season and didn't make the play-in?
I was using that to give you an example of how stupid your argument was about Artis Gilmore and Gervin.
No, because you said that before. You said you made that comment.
I used that to mock you guys because you guys keep screaming. Hold on. You guys keep screaming Pippen or Jordan never won 50 games without Pippen. Pippen was a bench player his rookie year, averaging 7 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists, playing barely 20 minutes a game. He literally had zero impact on those 50 wins.
That's not what the coaches and the players and all them.
No, your article that you keep bringing. I asked you to show me one article where the coaches said that about his rookie year, and just like no, Tex Winter said that about Pippen during the championship run. That's what your article said. No, Tex Winter never brought it up about his rookie year ever. Your own article literally contradicts what you are trying to say right now.
Pippen
your own article. This is
y'all go to what he's scoring. Scoring is just not the only way to impact the game.
Pippen didn't impact any game. Listen, unlike a lot of you, and unlike a lot of the people that back Jordan, and I say this about them too because they do the same thing. A lot of people that back LeBron, they base things on what they read on the internet. Blah blah blah. I was going to Bulls games in the late '80s and '90s. Okay, I saw this shit. I grew up with that shit. Pippen was literally non-factor his rookie year.
It has nothing to do with what was done in practice and said behind closed doors.
Behind closed doors don't win, but behind closed doors don't win you 50 games. The play on the court does.
So don't listen to what the coaches and stuff say. Listen to what a dude went to the game. So
the coaches, like Tex Winter, for instance, was not. Every time you keep bringing up Tex Winter, your article literally contradicts what you're saying. Your article literally, yes, it does. Tex Winter was literally talking about during the championship runs. That's what your article actually says. It says nothing about his rookie year. Zero, nothing.
I read something where it said when Pippen was a rookie, he instantly impacted the game. He did stuff that Tex Winters didn't already have to teach him. He came in the game knowing how to do. As a rookie, he could play defense. How you think he got more minutes? They saw what he was able to do without being taught.
Hold on, shush.
All right, Nino, I got a question. So you're saying that if Pippen wasn't on the team, the Bulls would have still won 50 games?
Yes, he was he wasn't in. You're going to sit here and you're going to tell me that a player that averaged 7 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists had. Hold on one second. Shut up.
He's trying to say basically Rodman wasn't no impact because he's not scoring.
Rodman actually played 35, 40 minutes a game.
Okay, Nino. So
and Rodman was averaging 15 rebounds a game
without Pippen.
Huh?
Would you say the Bulls would have won that first round series without Pippen?
We don't know that. You can't sit there and say, "Oh, if Pippen didn't start, the Bulls wouldn't have won." How are you going to know that? That's just like saying when Kyrie Irving made that shot, how do you know that Golden State was not going to win that game? Or
Pippen was important his rookie year, right?
Hold on 1 second. I said stop.
They don't be knowing, bro. Jordan didn't win anything without Pippen.
Sorry, the dog is driving me nuts.
So basically, Pippen was important his rookie year.
He was a non-factor. There is not one player that is going to be a bench player averaging 7 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists that's going to impact even 5 games, let alone 10 or 20 or 30. Okay?
But you're not willing to say that they would have won without him in the playoffs.
I said we don't know because we don't know what would have happened had he not started. Because you don't. That's stuff like that you can never answer. It's impossible.
It's an actual fact, though, that Jordan never won a playoff without Pippen.
Okay, and we don't know what would have happened, but the fact remains, you guys use this argument. You guys use this argument that Pippen or Jordan never won 50 games without Pippen when he was literally a rookie bench player, and you guys say, well, that counts because he was on the team. Okay, so that's why I use that same argument with you that LeBron was the first player to lead a team in history with 5 Hall of Famers that didn't make the playoffs. Well, Melo only played what, 15, 20 minutes a game. Howard played 15, 20 minutes a game. Same stupid logic you guys use about Pippen.
No, it's not, because
yes, it is. It's the same exact logic.
Jordan wasn't playing with Pippen, whether it was
it's the same logic. You guys sound stupid when you say it.
Jordan could not win without Pippen. Jordan even said this.
Oh
Why
my
are you
God!
trying to argue against it?
No, he couldn't win a championship without Pippen because
he couldn't win, period.
No, not period, because the Bulls were. You do know that the Bulls, when they won 30 games, you do know when the Bulls won 30 games, when the Bulls won 30 games, Jordan missed 62 games. Before he got hurt, the Bulls were a 500 team. They went 21-42 without him. That is not his fault. The very next season, the Bulls went 40-42. They were on their way up before Pippen got there.
What did the coach before Pippen and them came? What did he say? They wasn't gonna win. They wasn't gonna win with Jordan play style. His play style hinders the other players.
Oh my God! You do know that Jordan is at near the top for career assists and rebounds at his position, right? Shooting guards are not known for assists and rebounds.
No,
they
Jordan
never have been.
Hog.
Jordan only averages 3 more shots per game than LeBron.
How many shots was he leading everybody when he was winning scoring titles?
That ranged anywhere from 27 to 22.
That's a lot.
LeBron only averages 3 less shots per game than Jordan in their careers.
He shoots more efficiently, and he and he's also 4th in all-time assists.
LeBron also played the point a lot of his career, and he also played a position. Hold on, stop. See, this is where context, where you guys like leaving context out. There is more scoring in the NBA, which means there's more assists to be available and more rebounds. As I gave my example earlier, in that game, LeBron had 20 points and 20 rebounds. Memphis missed 62 shots. That means there's 62 rebounds to be had. Not to mention the fact when there's 62 rebounds to be had, 3 of the starters, LeBron, AD, and I can't remember the third person, played 40 minutes or more, while not any other player on the Lakers played more than 30, which means you're going to be out there getting stats like freaking crazy, especially when the opposite team is missing 62 shots. If Rodman was on that Lakers team when Memphis missed 62 shots, he's not getting 20 rebounds. He's getting fucking 40, no matter what his age is.
LeBron
when you have more opportunities to do something, it's going to make your stats look better. Because if you look at actual career stats, LeBron is only averaging 2 assists more than Jordan in his career. And LeBron has played a shit ton more point guard than LeBron has. Or, I'm sorry, reverse. LeBron has played point guard a shit ton more than Jordan ever has. Jordan wanted to play the point guard. Phil Jackson didn't want him to. He wanted him to be at shooting guard. The 24 games that Jordan played point guard in 1988, showed how dangerous he could have been. In 24 games, he averaged nearly a triple-double in 24 games as a point guard in 1988. And he had 11 triple-doubles out of those 24 games. Jordan wanted to play the point. When you're a shooting guard, you're not.
That's why they changed it. He was under 500.
I don't know what the record was.
Why did Phil Jackson
he's under 500.
Why did
Phil Jackson wanted to incorporate?
Hold on, wait. Why did Phil Jackson pull Jordan to the side and have to talk to him about the triangle, telling him they're gonna have to limit his shots? And he was complaining about he wanted to get more shots, where as long as I could score 32 points. Jordan did not want to pass. All his teammates know this.
He's averaged over 5 assists per game his entire career.
They had to make him pass.
He
was passing before Phil Jackson got there. He was still averaging over 5 assists a game in his career before Phil Jackson got there.
Everybody that played with Jordan will tell you Jordan is a ball hog. He does not
Again,
like to pass.
Though Jordan only averages 3 more shots per game than LeBron. That means, by your argument, a ball hog is LeBron as well, because he
Jordan
literally
is not
only
looking to pass. LeBron is looking to pass.
LeBron has played LeBron plays the point a lot of times.
Because
Jordan
he's
didn't.
a facilitator. His natural game is to pass, set up plays.
He shoots 3 times less shots per game in his career than Jordan.
He's a
LeBron has also played. The point guard position has always been known as a position that gets more assists than any other position in basketball.
LeBron James' basketball game is a pass-first player. Jordan is a.
You're not a pass first. Okay, listen, that's the stupidest argument I hear, because when you guys say
that's the truth, man.
No, it's not, because
that's a fact.
It's not a fact, because if it was a fact, he wouldn't average 3 shots less than Jordan in his career.
Getting past the ball has to make the shot for the assist to count. If they miss the shot, the assist don't count. LeBron is a pass-first player. Jordan is a ball hog, volume shooter. Everybody, all coaches, all teammates say Jordan was a ball hog and loved to shoot. You coming on here ain't never played a game with Jordan, ain't never been in practice with Jordan, ain't never did nothing on the Bulls team, calling everybody that played with him a lie. Because you're looking at some stats.
The stats don't lie, no matter how much you argue it. LeBron shoots 3 shots less per game than Jordan, period.
And LeBron is a pass-first player, and Jordan is a ball hog volume shooter.
Jordan averages 2 less assists per game for a position.
Because the player has to make the shot for the assist to count. It's not on LeBron's fault if the shot is missed and the assist don't count. You're not making no sense. LeBron is.
How am I not making any sense? You do realize that hold on. You do realize that Jordan averaged over 5 assists per game for a position. Stop. For a position that wasn't known for assists, that in an era where they scored less than they do now.
That has nothing to do with Jordan being a ball hog. His game was to shoot.
Oh my God! Listen,
he didn't want to pass.
If he doesn't want to pass, he wouldn't average over 5 assists a game.
It's like talking to a brick wall. Like I said, everybody.
It's not like talking to a brick wall.
And he didn't like to pass. And you sitting up here calling all of them people a lie just because of you looking
at stats don't lie. If you're
on the floor 40 minutes a game, you're going to get some assists.
Yeah,
I mean,
he don't know
he's always on the floor. Jordan was always on the floor.
Selfish.
You do realize that LeBron averages more assists per game because he's in an era where they average about 10 to 12 points more per game, right?
LeBron is a pass-first player. He likes to run the offense and set up teammates. That is
because he plays the point position a lot. The point guard position is a position that gets the most assists.
You keep ignoring the fact that LeBron likes to
too, He's on the floor. He's on the floor. He's gonna get assists. It's like Mike was on the floor. He got some assists.
Oh my God!
40 minutes a game, bro.
Jordan. If Jordan was,
this is ridiculous.
Yo,
how is it?
I wanted to say something. I've been listening and watching the game.
Oh shit! I forgot the game was on. Shit.
Yeah, the game was on, but I've been listening at the same time. I mean, saying Jordan was a ball hog, you can't really say that for the fact that he has a
Yeah, he
year
was.
that he averaged 8 assists in the season.
You not say George is a
You
ball
know,
hog.
he's
Jordan is the ball.
here's my
You
thing.
remember in the All Star game they went past
And
LeBron because he's
but
gunning too much.
but
He
you,
said he
you
kept
do
gunning.
realize he averaged 32, 8, and 8 with almost 3 steals a game in the season. So Jordan actually played the role that he was given. When they told him, "Hey, we need you to play the point guard," he played it at a high level. And when they
I
wanted
see
him
you
Jordan was
to
a ball
be,
saying
hog, man. There's no way
when they
around
he's
it.
moved
not a
him,
ball
say, "Hey,
hog.
you're a scorer, you're a scorer." He did pass
Jordan,
the ball. It's like in that narrative of LeBron being a pass first player. I don't agree with that.
he is.
He definitely pass.
LeBron even told you he was better than him in the paint.
All
Most of
right, Ernest,
LeBron's
Ernest,
field goal attempts come off of late in the shot clock and fast breaks. In the
Ernest.
offense, LeBron is basically passing the ball first. In the offense, Jordan is usually shooting the
He
ball first.
he's a scorer that's a very good passer, very with high IQ. That's him.
Oh, I don't knock Jordan's or LeBron's IQ at all. He's got a
That's
monster.
LeBron.
He's got a monster basketball IQ, and anybody that and I the other thing I say, and I've said this to other Jordan people because they make a lot of us look dumb when they say LeBron's not top three. If you say LeBron's not top three, you're either a basketball dummy or you're just trying to make your voice heard somehow. I mean that type of shit I can't stand. But when I hear this stupid shit, like,
Not stupid.
yes, it is. He averages 3 less shots per Jordan than Jordan.
I have
Period.
a question for you, Ernest.
Y'all currently calling his
I
teammates
got
stupid. They played with him.
I got a question for you, Ernest. Would you say Kobe's a pass first point player?
Hell no, Kobe a shooter. Kobe ain't no pass first player.
So why
He's gonna
LeBron
shoot.
average more attempts than Kobe then?
They had to make Kobe stop shooting. They didn't pass. They had a
You
secret code for
you
Kobe.
didn't answer the
You see how
question.
he sidesteps the
They had a
question?
You
He
secret
didn't
always
answer
code.
does
the
that.
question,
Huh?
Ernest. You didn't answer the question.
What?
I said, how come LeBron averaged more attempts than Kobe then?
Is that
Why
true?
can't y'all understand
Yes,
this
that's
shit?
true.
When
That is
Kobe
very
brings the
true.
ball up the court, he
And
is
he
not looking
also
to make
averaged
it.
more attempts than KD too.
Answer this question. So when Kobe got the ball up the court, you thinking he coming up the court
You
to
still
pass
didn't
and make
answer
a
the
play?
question though.
Yeah, that's what
You
he
didn't
does. He
answer the question.
sidesteps the
You
question.
didn't
I'm
answer the
not
question.
sidestepping nothing. Kobe
You
was
didn't
not
answer the
looking.
question.
Kobe was not looking to pass the ball when he bring it up the court.
You
LeBron
didn't
is.
answer the
That
question.
makes a pass first and a shoot first player.
No. That's the wrong definition.
Now
The
y'all just
real
going off stats
definition, no.
because it's the
It's
mentality.
hold on. His phone Jason,
That
you
doesn't make
asking
no
it
sense.
like it's the fact. I always say LeBron is a great passer, but he's a scorer. He's a scorer that's a great passer. He
LeBron is a
is.
pass first player. Kobe was
That's
never
a
looking to pass the
fact.
ball.
How
And
come
you
Kobe
he
was
still
never.
average?
haven't
How come
answered his question.
you still didn't answer my question?
You say how does he average more attempts than
Why he averaged more attempts than Kobe and KD?
he shot the ball more? But LeBron is looking to pass the ball. Kobe is
What?
not.
Oh my God, he still hasn't answered the question.
I just answered it. I said because he shot the ball more. But LeBron bringing up the ball is
But
looking to
so
pass. Kobe bringing up the ball is not.
that means he's a good he's a great passer. There's no doubt about that. But don't ignore that he's a scorer that's a great
I
passer.
never said he
That's
wasn't a
what it
scorer.
that
I said LeBron's mentality is to make plays and pass,
but
scoring second. Kobe's
he's
mentality is to always shoot and pass
no.
less, just like Jordan's.
John Stockton, Magic, Jason Kidd, those are pass first players. Those are pass first players.
They couldn't score as good
Not
as LeBron can.
they
LeBron can
can
actually
score if they
take
want to.
advantage.
They
They
can
cannot
score if
score
they
like
want to.
LeBron. They
They
cannot
can't
score
score.
like
Yeah,
They
they
LeBron.
can't
can't.
score
No,
like
I
LeBron.
agree. I agree, Brandon. They can't, but don't act like they can't score. They can't be a scoring point guard. If you look at John Stockton in college in Gonzaga, he averaged 21 and 7. He switched his game up to be a pass first point guard. That's what you call pass first.
I
LeBron
ain't
is
saying
a
So
score.
Ralph, you're
He's
saying
a scorer that's a
he's
great
a score.
passer.
So you're not you're saying that LeBron's not a pass first player.
No, he's not a pass first player. I feel LeBron is a great scorer. He's a scorer that's a great passer.
LeBron
That's
said
what
he's a
he
pass
is.
first player. Y'all call him a lie. and he always brings the ball up the court looking to pass. That is a pass. When you bring the ball
How
up
many
the court,
times you
yo,
see
hold
LeBron
on, wait a
catching?
minute. When
Go
you bring
ahead.
the ball
You
up the
right.
court, what's your first thought? This is what makes you a pass first player. LeBron's first thought is to pass, which is pass first. Jordan's first thought, Kobe's first thought is to shoot and score, which makes them a score first, not pass. It's common sense. Your first thought when you got the ball is to run a play and pass. That
You
makes you
know
a
the difference?
pass.
You want to know the difference? No, Kobe played a lot of off ball than LeBron. That's
Because
that's
Kobe didn't
what
know how
that
to
is.
pass like that. And he wouldn't
Nah, he
pass
played
like that.
off ball.
Kobe
He
wasn't
played
trying to
off
pass
ball.
that ball. That boy was a
There
gunner.
was several seasons that Kobe led the team in assists.
Yeah, but Kobe was not trying to pass. That
Yeah,
man
I
was a
really
gunner.
watching LeBron. His initial thing is to set up the offense to pass the ball.
Thank you.
That's what LeBron does.
Pass
His
first.
initial thing is not to score the ball. He is not going down the court to say, I'm about to score the ball every time I get it. The majority of the time, he's looking to pass the ball. And that's how he's been his whole career. Ever since he was in the high school, even though he averaged 30 points a game in high school, his initial thing was get his teammates involved to pass the ball. That's how LeBron has always been.
So we ignore what the we ignore the
Or what?
stats now.
I mean, it's the thing is he's a great scorer as well. He takes advantage when he
That's a
sees he can take
passer.
advantage.
Like you're
But
saying,
his
he's a
initial
great.
thing is
Go ahead.
to set up the offense in the pass. That's his first initial
But
thing
he's
to
a
do.
great what so what I'm saying he's a great scorer. That's a he's a
You're
he's a
making a lot of
scorer.
noise. That's why.
He's a great scorer. He's a scorer that's a great passer. That's why I use that term because he is a great passer. I'm not denying that, but saying he's a pass first player, that's a stretch. That
You
is a
see, and I
stretch.
agree. I agree with him with Rob on this. I mean, you can't sit there. Okay, this is the thing that bothers me most about this group. You guys praise LeBron about one thing, for instance, his career
But I just
stats.
wanted to say that. I'll holler at you, Brandon.
I see,
All
bro.
right,
You, you
bro.
guys, you guys praise.
Look,
Hold on. I'll be off in a second. You guys praise LeBron about his career stats, but then when stats are brought into it, you guys make excuses. You guys say, I
man,
mean, the stats literally show that LeBron only averages 2 less assists or more assists than Jordan per game in his career, and he only averages 3 less shots than Jordan in his career. But you guys, when that's brought up, you guys try to argue it, but then you try to say he's the GOAT based on his stats. I mean, you can't try to use one thing and negate the other. It's just
So,
like with him with his defense this season at age 38, year 20 that you guys like using. You guys say he's doing this in year 20, and then we bring up his defensive rating, which was one of the worst in the league at 113, by the way. You guys say, well, he can't do everything. Well, you can't have one and not the other. You
feel
I got a
like
can't.
question,
defensive
Nino.
rating does not tell how good of a player you are. Defensive rating is when you're on the court with 4 other players who don't play defense. So no matter what, your defensive rating is going to be higher if you're playing with players who can't play defense. Simple as that.
LeBron,
Like the defensive rating is a terrible metric to use. That
now it's
doesn't
a
show you
terrible
how
thing when
good you are.
defensive rating literally has been a staple in the NBA for decades. Now it's a
Who
terrible.
said this?
Next
Who
thing
said
you're
this?
gonna, the next thing
Who
you're
said
gonna
this?
do is you're gonna
Who said
tell me
this?
that per is overrated.
Hey, I got a question, Nino.
What
So,
PER?
Yeah.
PER is an overrated
You see,
metric.
because why? Because LeBron's not leading it.
I mean, him and Jordan like 1 and 2, and I still think it's a terrible metric because it doesn't show how good you are.
Do you know
It
anything about
shows how
baseball?
much usage rate
Do
you
you do
are.
you, do you know anything about baseball?
Yeah. What about it?
Do you know what WAR is?
What's that? Just tell everybody.
Wins above replacement. They use WAR is basically PER is basically WAR for basketball.
No, matter of fact, I don't even care about base. Tell me why PER makes Jordan the best. Since you want to talk about PER, tell us
No,
why
I'm,
PER
I'm
makes Jordan
saying
the best.
you're
Just tell us.
you're using against you're going against it's the effectiveness of a player on the court. That's what it and what he can. Hold on, one second. I said stop. Jordan, and because Jordan's leading LeBron in something, all of a sudden it doesn't matter.
that's how y'all are.
Okay. Wait. Let me ask you a question. Do you think Anthony Davis is the third best playoff performer of all time?
Absolutely not.
Okay, he's third in PER. That's why I'm saying that's not a good metric to use because it doesn't show anything. Are you saying
AD
no?
also.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Are you saying that Giannis had the greatest NBA season of all time? Would you say that?
Did Giannis have the greatest season of all time?
In 2020, did Giannis have the greatest NBA season of all time?
No.
2020, he had the highest PER of all time. That's another reason why I'm saying that PER is not a great metric to use. Are you
Okay.
saying that in 2021, Jokic had a better season than MJ has ever had in his career? Would you say
You're
that?
also talking in a time where scoring. No, I'm not.
Because
But
that
you're
says
also
his
talking.
PER was higher than Jordan's season had he ever played. That's why I'm saying PER is
Okay,
not a
you're
good
also
metric to
talking in
use.
an era where there's 10 times, there's a shit ton more scoring
Chamberlain
and
had
less
a higher
defense.
PER than Jordan has ever had.
Your PER is going to be higher if you're doing more shit. And for instance, if you look
What I
at,
said is about
let's see.
usage rate. That's exactly what I said. It's about usage rate, and you're just
Right, it
agreeing
is
with one
about
thing.
usage rate, but you know what? People are being used more because there's more scoring. So if you look at what is 2023, so if we go back 25 years to Jordan's last season with the Bulls. Wow, it's been 25 years. Holy shit. If you go back to that time frame compared to now, the scoring and the defense is night and day. The scoring is what this year. I
I don't
think
know
they
why
averaged
PER is
100.
not a good metric to use.
I
You just
think they
continue to
averaged. I think they averaged 120 points a game through the NBA total this year. Whereas in '98, I think they averaged 101, if I'm correct, 101 or 102, something like that. That's going to generate a lot more usage, and that's going to generate a lot more assists. It's going to generate a lot more rebounds. I mean, that shit all comes into play.
I mean, that's why I'm saying it's not a good metric to use. You're
Okay,
proving
but
my
at that
point.
by that same token, because there's an 18-point difference in scoring, that's going to increase somebody's assists, increase somebody's rebounds, which is where LeBron is at.
Like I said, when
That
LeBron was
sounds like an
playing in
excuse
a
to me.
slower era, his PER was higher than it is now. That's why I'm saying it's not a good metric to use because it doesn't tell
I'm,
you
I'm,
how good a player is on the court.
I'm still stuck on this assist thing. Do you know how assists work, Nino?
Of course, I do. If the player
So it
has
don't matter. So the person that's getting past the ball has to make the shot. So therefore, a pass
okay.
could have
Now
occurred.
listen
A pass could have occurred, and
listen to
because
what
he
you're
didn't make the
saying.
shot, he didn't get the assist counted.
Okay, now listen to what you're saying. Okay,
I know what I'm
in
saying.
an era where there's 18 points more scoring on average than when Jordan played. So he's getting more assists because there's more scoring. You're saying that doesn't matter because there's times where the players miss. That happened during Jordan's
No,
time as
no,
well.
no. That's not what I'm saying. You said LeBron is not a pass first player. So you saying because he averaged 2 more assists than Jordan, like as if that has anything to do with it. LeBron's mentality, bring up the ball.
It has everything to do with it. Okay, so you're saying because based on your logic, that means that
There's no logic.
LeBron beating Kareem's all-time scoring record, it doesn't matter because it's not the context of it.
You going off topic. I'm
No,
talking
I'm
about
not.
a
It's the
player's
same
mindset.
logic.
I'm talking about a player's mindset and their first thought when they have the ball in their hand, bringing it up the court. What's Jordan's?
Let me ask you this: how is
Answer
somebody
my
that
question.
averages
What's Jordan's first thought if he bringing the ball up the court?
early in his career? It was definitely to score it because the
It
Bulls had
wasn't
nobody
early in his career.
else.
What is Jordan's first thought? Even when he was on the Wizards, what was Jordan's first thought when he bringing the ball up the court?
Honestly, I don't know. But at the same time, you
To
guys bring
score.
up you know what? There's the other thing. You guys bring up the Wizards time. What you guys failed to
That
bring up,
counts.
no, what you guys failed to bring up is his first season with the Wizards. The year before Jordan joined the Wizards were a 19-win team.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan joins the team, and at the All-Star break, he got hurt, and the Wizards were 26-21 and number 5 in the playoff standings.
So injuries
Jordan
matter.
got hurt and missed, I think it was 22 games, and the Wizards collapsed
So
without
injuries
him.
matter.
Yes, injuries matter.
They must
Because
don't matter for
without
LeBron.
Jordan,
Matter for LeBron at 19 and 21. And
without
22.
Jordan, the Wizards collapsed.
Well, I guess LeBron can't have injuries because y'all love to bring up that first year and when he
Jordan actually had to have surgery. Jordan actually had to have surgery
before he got hurt.
Jordan actually had to have surgery for his injury. LeBron sits out. So LeBron sits out because somebody stubbed his toe. Okay.
When was this? What game was this?
It's a figure of speech. When he missed the 6 games because of his foot, he happened to play that one game that beat Kareem, and then all of a sudden he had to sit out 6 or 7 games.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about they bring up their Lakers season
when he didn't make the playoffs when he was hurt and he missed 30-something games.
Yeah, like what was it? Like the whole starting 5 had injuries, and they were like 4th in the West before they got hurt.
I was okay again. I'm using that 5 players Hall of Fame to mock you guys when you guys bring up the Pippen who's playing on the bench with his inconsequential 7 points and 4 rebounds and 2 assists.
That conversation dead. You arguing against the coaches and the players.
So Nino, you're saying when Jordan was hurt, those seasons shouldn't really count against him. Like in 1986.
No, you can't say that Jordan failed that year because it wasn't on him. So just like last season, it wasn't on LeBron. See, that's the logic that I actually don't use that stupidity logic like you guys do. I know that last season didn't help because there was too many injuries. Just like it didn't help Jordan.
LeBron failed. I don't think LeBron fans say LeBron failed, but that's like what Jordan
No, I don't say that because I actually use logic.
There's not really Jordan fans like LeBron haters.
You guys, are you kidding me? Every single post I see from, and if that includes Brandon and Johnny, or if they don't post it, they repost it from somebody else of them saying Scott Jordan couldn't win 50 games without Pippen. And they say, that because that counts. Where's the lie? Okay, so by that same logic, LeBron couldn't lead 4 other Hall of Famers to the playoffs last season.
LeBron won multiple playoff games and multiple playoff seasons with any player you want to name. Jordan didn't do that without.
Jordan never had the help early in his career that LeBron had. None.
Yes,
Zero.
What did LeBron have early in his career? What did LeBron have early in his career?
If you're, and I know what he's talking about. He's trying to bring up the 07 season without mentioning it. In the 07 season, LeBron had a multiple-time All-Star. He had a player that was just All NBA defensive the year before, and he had one of the best point guards in the East in an Eastern Conference that was at its weakest in decades.
Who did he have? Like who these players?
Name these
junior high school team.
Players.
Ilgauskas was a multiple-time All-Star.
Ilgauskas.
Okay, he was decent. Okay,
he was a multiple-time All-Star. He had Larry Hughes, who was NBA All-Defensive the year before. Mo Williams.
Mo Williams.
Mo Williams is one of the best point guards in the East.
I think he was 6'2".
Okay, but at the time there was nobody good in the East at that time. The Cavaliers won 50 games the year that the Cavs went to the finals. The Pistons, old as shit, won 53. Not one other team won 50 games in the East that year, and most of the playoff teams were either a few games over 500 or at 500. By that same token, the Pistons and the Cavs would have been, the Cavs record at 50 wins would have been a 5 or 6 seed in the West, depending on what the tiebreaker would have been, because there was one other team with 50 wins in the West that year. They were playing in an extremely weak Eastern Conference. And
so are you saying Boston was weak when they made those trades in 08?
No, that I said 07. When Boston made their super team.
07.
When Boston made their super team, which was the next year after the Cavs went to the finals, that's when the East started getting a little bit stronger. And then LeBron, when he saw he couldn't beat Boston, left the season after that, and he joined with Miami.
Okay, so from 03 to 07, the league, the East was very weak. So for those 4 years, they were very weak.
They was weak.
Okay. Oh, how many of those years were the Cavs good? From 07?
From 03 to 07?
Mm-hmm.
The first 2 years, the Cavs didn't even make the playoffs.
Okay, so 2 years they were good?
They ended up, like I said, they ended up with LeBron was getting older, so he was getting better. Oh, and speaking of which, I can't remember what season was it? Was it his third season? Shush. I think it was his third season when he averaged like 31 points a game or something like that. But that him having that was basically his career year, and it still stood as the best year of his career that year. And the year after that is when they went to the finals. And if you actually look at the Eastern Conference standings during that time frame, there was never more than two teams that won 50 or more games. Sometimes it was only one team that won 50 games during that time frame. The West was absolutely the most dominant league or dominant conference in the league at that time, and the East was basically getting run over.
So
West
the
always
Miami
been the best
Heat
The
conference.
in
only
2006
season,
were
the
not
only
good.
season
Miami
where the
Heat
East was
2006 were not
successful
good.
that year was in 04 when the Pistons won it, and that was because the Pistons were the only good team in the East when they won it.
So the Heat were not a good team with Shaq, Wade, Morning, Antoine
Yeah,
Walker. Those were not good teams.
After Wade and Shaq joined up,
Okay, so you're saying that only in 07 did LeBron have a team to actually compete.
between 03 and 07, yes.
So in
And
2007, he had a team to compete. So 03 to 06, he
in
didn't
the
have a team to
East,
compete.
yes.
And 0 to 09, 08 to 09. So 1 year before he went to Miami, you say he had a team that could compete. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying the East was weak as shit when he took them to the finals. Everybody knows it.
So just that 1 year. You're just
Did,
saying
did
that
they
1
did
year they
they
were
even
weak.
sniff the finals after the 07 season when Boston created its super team
I don't think they made it
before
out
he
the
left the
second round.
Cavs? Did they
I don't
even
think they made it
sniff
out
the
the second
finals?
round. No, they actually went to the Eastern Conference Finals in 0,
Okay, but they
08, I
didn't
think.
go. They didn't go to the finals, did they? Because Boston created the super team. LeBron saw that he wasn't going to win in Cleveland with Boston having their super team, so he created his own.
So basically, when LeBron wasn't making finals, the East was good, and then when he started
Yeah.
making finals
So
again,
No,
the
yeah.
East
because
was weak.
And
The East was
07 was
horrible.
the weak.
The East was
07 was
horrible
the only time it
before
was
he.
weak.
I
You said
didn't.
07.
Huh?
You said 07 was the only time they was weak.
No,
You
I
said the
said
Pistons was
03 to
good.
07. I said 03 to 07 was weak. Okay,
You
you're
said
not
the
going to
Pistons
try.
was good in 04 and 05 and 06 the Heat were good. 09 and 08 09 was Boston. So only 1 year that LeBron had an easy route to the finals.
Look at the standings. The Cavaliers basically took over the Heat spot when the Heat were good because the Heat were only like quote unquote monstrously good for 2 seasons because Shaq was still in his prime, but like at the end of his prime. Or I would even argue to say he might have been out of his prime, but decent still, like you guys say with Wade with LeBron. They the 03 and 04 teams of the Pistons and the Heat were the only good teams in the Eastern Conference those years. The Cavs and the very old Pistons were very good and were the only good teams in the East in the '07. And then in '08, Boston created their super team.
Sounds
The
like you're saying
East
that
in
07 was the only time it was weak.
Yeah.
I never said that. I said the '03. You even asked me, would you say it came out of your mouth literally 5 minutes ago? Would you say the East was weak from '03 to '07? And
He
I
was
said
asking.
yes.
But then you're saying that the Pistons were good and Boston were good and the Heat were good. So that
No, the
doesn't mean
Pistons were
that
good in '04. The Heat were good in '05, or whichever what year it
no
was that they won. You're going
Pistons
to have one good team.
Pistons lost in game 7 versus the Spurs in the
You're
finals in
going
05.
to have one good team in a conference.
So it
I mean
wasn't a
that you're
cakewalk
trying
for
you're
LeBron,
trying to
basically.
you're trying to make a stupid argument to make yourself look good about this, and you're wrong.
You just not making sense. You
I'm
basically
making
what you
perfect.
saying.
So you're
The
telling
only
me
time
that
the East
you're telling
wasn't
me
weak was when LeBron didn't make the finals. Because you're
no.
gonna tell
I
me the
said
other
in
years he made the
'03 to
finals, the East was weak then too.
I said in '03 to '07. I even agreed with Brandon that the East was weak. Shut up.
So when LeBron made the finals 8 straight times, the East was weak again. I'm guessing.
The Heat when LeBron made the Heat or the finals 8 straight times, he also had two future Hall of Famers as his teammate.
So the East was weak again, I'm guessing.
There's no, it has nothing to do with whether it was weak or strong because I can't tell you that because I have to look at the standings and look who was playing, but it wouldn't matter because he had 2 Hall of Fame teammates. This is what you guys argue about. And this is the thing that this is the thing that annoys the shit out of me about you LeBron fans, is you guys bring up Pippen and Jordan. And everybody knows that you can't win a championship without help. That's why we don't argue about Jordan needing Pippen. You guys try to make an argument that LeBron was this god when he literally has not won one title without recruiting Hall of Fame teammates.
Jordan
Not
could
one.
win 2 playoff games.
Jordan actually didn't have no help. LeBron actually had he didn't. He had 0 help. What?
He just didn't know how to pass the ball.
Mo Williams was these superstar players in 07.
They were playing in a weak Eastern Conference. Jordan was playing in an Eastern Conference that had beast teams and dynasties while his teammates were doing cocaine.
Jordan had 2
you can't even compare the two.
Team. He didn't pass the ball. He was just
oh my God, here we go back to this shit again.
Because you're trying to make it seem like everybody's at fault except Jordan. He was a ball hog, didn't know how to utilize his players on his team.
There was nobody good on the Bulls. Before Jordan got to the Bulls, they were only winning 30 fucking games.
The Cavs weren't doing that good before LeBron got there.
Oh my God.
You contradicting yourself. Jordan
no, I'm not, because the Cavs were in a weak Eastern Conference. The Cavs weren't playing a dynasty like Boston or Milwaukee was good, or Philadelphia, who had Dr. J and Oakley. The Cavs didn't have to face those type of teams in the East early in LeBron's career. Jordan did.
You just said the Pistons were a great team. The Heat were, and Boston were. Those are pretty good teams.
No. The Pistons were the only good team in the East in 04. Then Wade and Shaq joined together, and they were good for one season. What did the Heat do the year after that? Nothing. What did the Pistons do after that? Nothing. You don't equip one season.
Are you talking about? You just keep talking about 07 was the only time.
Oh my God! I said 03 to 07. The East was weak.
What about the Pistons? You're saying they were they were one of the best teams in the league. How's that weak?
Oh my God. In 04, the Pistons won the title, but in 04, the Pistons were in a weak Eastern Conference.
So the East was never weak until LeBron got there and made flames.
Oh my God, am I talking to a brick wall? How stupid can you be?
We feel about you because you're not making no sense.
I'm making perfect sense. The only people not making
Dita, we understand. We understand. You're saying that no matter what, the East was weak. Even if they had one good team, they were still weak.
Yes.
They only had one good team. So
there's only, you can.
So are you saying that the league was weak in the 90s because they only had one good team in the East in the 90s? Are you saying that the 90s was weak as well?
No, because if you actually look at the 90s, there was quite a few teams that were winning 50, 60 games in each conference. They didn't have the conference leader winning.
Bad teams. Okay, what are those good teams in the East when in the 90s? What are those good teams?
God, now you're making me think. Let's see. The Knicks were good. The Pistons for a little bit were good in the early 90s before they got bad. Excuse me. I said, hold on.
Because I remember Bird and Magic talking about how
Bird and Dr. J talking
water
about
down the 90s.
Oh, you know what? That's the other thing. You guys
diluted talent was spread around. You may have one or two good players.
So you mean to tell me that the Knicks were a great team with just one Hall of Famer and Alonzo Mourning, Wade, and Shaq for those 2 years were just a decent team or a great team?
Orlando was a great team. And if Penny Hardaway didn't get hurt, and I think this was you, I commented to Brandon, if Penny Hardaway didn't get hurt, he definitely would be a Hall of Famer. He literally revolutionized the point guard position.
And how did he do that?
He was the one that changed the game at the position. He was the one that knew how to move the ball. And a lot of people like to bring up they dribble now. Penny started that shit. He was the one. He was probably at the time the greatest dribbler while running with the ball in NBA history. Nobody was better than him than at one.
What about Magic?
Hey, I was looking up something the other day, and they 07 Cavs team, since he claiming they were so good and so much help, they're one of the worst teams to ever make the finals.
Think about what you just said.
Yeah, I know what I said. Because it tells me that LeBron carried a bad team to the finals.
It means the East was weak. No matter who went to the finals from the East that year, it would have been the worst team to make the finals. It's not as much
help as you claim LeBron had over Jordan. Jordan had 2 20-point scores on the Bulls before Pippen came.
Orlando Woolridge was literally one of the biggest bums in the league. Why do you think
20 points? He averaged 20
yes,
points
on a bad team. Let me ask you something, and this is the other thing that bothers me, because it's the logic completely escapes you guys. Okay, you guys scream that, for instance, Gervin averaged 16 points a game during his only season with the Bulls when Jordan missed 60 games. Well, he averaged 16 points because Jordan missed 60 games. Those points that a superstar, when he gets hurt, those points don't just magically disappear. Those points have to be picked up by players. Those points are not just going to say, okay, he averages 25 points a game. I guess we're going to go from averaging 105 a game to 80 a game. That's not how it works. People are going to
pass on the ball.
What?
So Jordan didn't make sure he involved Gervin in the game plan or something?
Gervin even said himself he shouldn't have played that year. He was done before that season. That's why Gervin only. That's why Gervin only. Gervin literally only played
16 points a game.
Huh?
Gervin was done, and he averaged 16 points a game.
He was averaging 10 points a game when him and Jordan played together. He played because he was doing the Bulls a favor. If you actually look, it came out of Gervin's mouth. He knew he was done. That's why he told the coaches, don't play him in the playoffs. He only played 7 minutes total in the playoffs. 7 minutes.
He was done and averaged 16 points a game. That's crazy.
On a bad team. Again, points aren't going to just disappear. They need to go to somebody. If a player gets hurt, those points don't just disappear.
Hey, Brandon, on that Cavs team, me talking about LeBron has so much help. When did the guy averaging that same amount of points?
Real quick.
Around 16
real
points?
Quick, because I don't have a lot of time.
Yeah, I gotta go too. I'm getting my wife's
I'm actually at work, but I'm listening to this guy, and first things first, he's trying to compare the 80s and only the 80s East to what LeBron faced in the East when he started going to the finals. I'll give him this. In the 80s, yes, you had teams like the Celtics, you had teams like the Lakers. Can you give me these dominant teams of the 90s in the East?
He said the Knicks and the Pacers.
That's it. So that you had, when LeBron was in the East, you had the Bulls. I believe D Rose was there when LeBron was in the East. The Bulls were good. Detroit was good. The Celtics were good. The Hawks were good.
No.
Toronto was good.
No, the year that the Cavs went to the finals in 07, the Cavs and the Pistons were the only two teams to win 50 games. And the Pistons won 53 and the Cavs won 50.
No. You said when LeBron was in the East was weak. So
yes,
we're not picking a specific year.
Yes, we specifically were talking about 03 to 07.
I'm sorry. Was his exact quote was, when LeBron was in the East was weak, right?
No, my exact quote. No, I said in 03 and 07, the East was weak. And then I said, until
I literally have been listening to you. You
literally Brandon, did I or did I not say that?
Now all of a sudden, it's specific years.
No, I was specific on 07. Brandon, did I or did I not say that? Yes or no?
We've been talking about 03 to 10.
No, I said 03 to 07. Did I not?
No, that's basically what we've been talking about.
No, we've been talking about 03 to 07. You know that specifically. The video.
So even in 03 to 07, you're saying there were no teams in the East that were good except for the Pistons and the Cavs.
No, the Pistons in 07, the only really good teams were the Pistons and the Cavs. In
That's just
07,
incorrect.
no, it's not. If you look at the standings, there's only 2 teams that won 50 games that year. The Pistons 53 and the Cavs 50.
Because you only won 50 games, that means you were a terrible team, or does that mean there was a little bit more? They had a little bit more, competition. Because I remember the Pacers being a really good team.
You do know that
the Pacers being a really good team.
You do know that
they just couldn't beat Cleveland, and they couldn't beat the Heat.
Most of the teams that won or that were over 500 in the playoffs in 07 were barely over 500. They were either 3 or 4.
I also remember the Wizards being a really good team. They just couldn't beat the Cavs.
They were every team in the East, with the exception of 3 of them, were barely over 500 or at 500 that made the playoffs.
And then I have another question.
Records.
Why was the West? Why was the East so weak, and why was the West so good? Is it because they started running to the West?
No, the West just built better teams.
I remember players like Paul Millsap being in the East. He ran West. I remember a lot of great players being in the East that ran West. Why did they run West?
Paul Millsap was on that Atlanta team that was good in the mid 2010s, or did you forget about that?
No, it wasn't just 2010 when Atlanta was good. Also, remember Orlando being pretty good back then as well.
No, Orlando started getting good in the same year that Boston built their super team.
You mean that same Orlando squad that beat the Cavs?
I wish I'm looking for my computer right now.
You mean that same Orlando team that beat the Cavs with Dwight Howard, right?
What year?
Defensive Player of the Year.
Well, nah.
We're doing this is before he went to the Heat.
Okay, in 09, I kept. How many times do I have to repeat 03 to 07?
Hold up. I thought the East was so weak, though.
Yes, in 03 to 07, it was. What part of 03 to 07 are you not comprehending? Why is simple English so hard for LeBron guys?
So your only evidence of the East being weak was the teams didn't score. They didn't have a 50-game wins. That's all you got.
If you're not winning 50 games and you're leading the conference, or you're barely leading the conference with 50 wins, the conference is pretty damn weak.
Or it could be.
I just need to know something. Brandon, did I say anything that's incorrect right now? The teams that I named, were they trash?
I mean, if you're having a hard time beating your teams in your conference, that's
pretty competitive.
The opposite. If you're having an easier time beating your team, that means that there's not much competition.
Because I remember in the West, during that time period, I knew there were 2 teams that were going to come out of the West, and it was either going to be the Lakers or the Spurs.
Yep.
During the same time period he's talking about, it was either going to be the Lakers or the Spurs coming out of the West.
Guys, I have to go. My wife's giving me a dirty look, and I have to do this shit right now.
All right. You have a good day. But I mean, did I say anything that's incorrect right now?
See, his thing is the East was weak because it wasn't teams didn't win 50 games. That means it's competitive. You can't go on and win.
But it's another one of those built-in. It's another one of those built-in false narratives to try to sit here and downplay the competition LeBron had to play. Because I know there's several teams in the East. If LeBron's not in the East, they go to the finals. Those Paul George Indiana Pacers go to the finals. D Rose Bulls goes to the finals at least twice. Toronto definitely goes to the finals at least twice.
And the
Wizards go to the finals that year.
The Celtics before they got
the thing is having teams win
with LeBron.
Having teams just always beat their teams in their conference doesn't mean that the conference is better. It's the opposite.
Means it's weak.
Detroit owned the East. Winning. Detroit was in the Eastern Conference Finals, if I'm not mistaken, like 4 years straight.
7 straight years. It was a lot.
I thought it was 4 or 5. Something like 4 or 5 years straight. And then these teams started getting better. For him to sit here and say that, because every time I hear the East was weak, I say
it's
weak in the 90s. And people get mad at me for that. I'm literally 40 years old. You know the team I remember in the 90s being great? I remember the Knicks being good, the Bulls being good, Indiana being good.
Yeah, in the '90s, that's when the expansion era really took off because all them teams
I'm
you
sorry.
can
And then
easily
the
beat
Heat
anybody.
got decent. He got decent
Like
in Orlando one year.
there were good teams in
That's
the
all I
'90s.
remember
I
from
would
the
say that
90s.
there were great teams in the '90s. Like the best teams in the
No,
'90s were
the
the
East was at
Bulls
his
and
best in
those
the
Magic
80s.
teams.
I'll give him that. The East, in my opinion, was at his best in the 80s. It was
Yep,
I'm
in the
not gonna
'80s.
front. Jordan wasn't coming out the East in the 80s, but to sit here and
Hell no.
pretend like but he's the GOAT. He's supposed to be. He didn't even take a game off of Larry Bird. And he's not even killed for that. That's another thing I don't get.
Nope.
And that's why they get
You
mad when
never
we
beat
bring up.
Larry Bird in a playoff game, and you're not killed for that.
Yeah, that's why they get mad when we bring up Pippen because Jordan won one playoff game without Pippen. So you telling me this
Exactly.
guy
Your
is the
record, what was he,
greatest of all
1-9 without
time?
Scottie Pippen?
He made Scottie Pippen and all that. My question is always the same. If he made Scottie Pippen and he to go, why couldn't he make somebody else and win without Pippen? It's that simple.
Exactly. I
Like
was
I
just
don't get
talking
it.
to
It's
somebody
just a
earlier
narrative.
because
It's
see,
just
I
a
love having
narrative, man.
these basketball conversations. I had to cook Kobe earlier and Jordan earlier. I said, how long did Kobe have a prime Shaq?
Man, for I know I think what two of the finals
Maybe
that he was
maybe
with
four
Shaq,
years,
he rode
five
the bench.
years.
I think he had him for like 7 years.
Yeah, that was the
I
best
think he had
Shaq
a
ever
prime
on
Shaq for like 7 years. I'll have to look it up. But even if he had him for 5 years,
No, well, to me, I guess what I take it is like both of them are like competitive. Kobe wasn't
no,
really
bro.
that player till what
I've
99.
always asked this question until he got Anthony Davis. The closest thing LeBron has gotten to Shaq is Anthony Davis. Can
Yeah.
you imagine LeBron James with a prime Shaq?
Cause
I
LeBron
mean,
like
a
to pass the
healthy
ball. He
Anthony
gonna be setting
Davis.
Shaq up.
Exactly. I literally had this conversation with somebody. I said, if LeBron James has a prime Shaq, I'm talking about 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004 prime Shaq. That's a four-peat. Easy. Shaq
Yeah.
probably averages like 45 points off of all of the assists. LeBron probably averages like 10 assists a game.
LeBron gonna be throwing them full court lobs to Shaq right up on the basket like he be doing 80.
Like it's crazy to me the narrative
Easy.
because I'm sitting here, I'm listening to him. I'm like, why is he making it seem like when LeBron was in the East, there was no good teams? They just couldn't beat his team. It was just driving me crazy. Why are we acting like Paul George, Indiana was trash? They were the number one. They were either number one or number two. They just couldn't beat LeBron.
I think they was the number
I
one
believe the
defensive
Bulls had
team,
a
wasn't
number
it?
one seed with D Rose. Bulls had a number one seed with D Rose. They just couldn't beat LeBron. Toronto, he owned Toronto, and they were good every year. They just couldn't beat LeBron.
I think the reason that they all say that because when you look at the scope throughout that time, there were multiple like all stars per team, and when you look at Paul George and Rose and Melo, they were like the lone stars on those teams, which is like the '90s. Those was Jordan was going versus lone stars in like the '90s, and they actually give those '90s teams more credit basically than they do the LeBron opponents. So I think that's the reason because they're not playing versus like 4 to 5 Hall of Famers on one squad, but
But
they
that, but
actually
that's
think
just,
Jordan was.
but if that's the case, then Brandon, why is it when we bring up teams like he had to play like in the finals, like the Spurs, when he is playing against 3 to 4 Hall of Famers, when you playing against Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, and then you got those three right there,
Kawhi
but then
Leonard,
you got to turn
Kawhi
around and
Leonard
play
too.
Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, and Kawhi Leonard, or you got to play Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond. I mean, when we bring up them, then when you start talking about the finals competition, there's somehow some way they have to weasel their way out of that. So they have to keep the same energy. And my problem with this conversation is that it seems like there's like just a complete double standard when you talk about these stars. If I judge them all literally on the same ranking. At the end of the day, I agree with one thing he said. Nobody's going to win anything by themselves without help. But to sit here and pretend like you can't measure these players when they didn't have great teammates around them is ridiculous. We saw Jordan in the 80s without teammates. He was 1 for 9. We saw LeBron when he didn't have his teammates when his first run in Cleveland. He carried that team. We saw Kobe when he didn't have Shaq. He couldn't do nothing. I mean, we saw this. If we want to be subjective about this,
Yeah,
I'm
and he
talking
also
straight
said
team
that
success at this point.
that he said the early Bull teams were like crackheads or something. So he wanted
They
to
always say that.
disregard like what Jordan didn't do, basically, and then home in on what LeBron didn't do.
But I
It's
remember
a
in the
double
80s
standard,
when
like you
Jordan
said.
had Parrish. I remember in the 80s when he had a young Charles Oakley. Why are we sitting here acting like he didn't have teammates in the 80s?
He just was a ball hog, like I said. The coach even said he would shoot. He would hints the plays like didn't want to pass the ball. That's why players couldn't do what they was able and talented to do because Jordan was ball hogging. Man, taking all the
I
shots.
think it
He wasn't
was you
looking
that
for that.
asked him. I think it was you that asked him, what was Jordan's first thought when he got the ball, and what's LeBron's first thought when he gets the ball?
Exactly.
That was
He
an
see, he
excellent
didn't answer.
question.
He didn't answer.
To me,
He didn't
that's an
answer it
excellent
either.
question because if your first option is to I'm going to score the ball, which was Jordan's mindset when he got the ball, it's easy to
Yep.
sit here and say you're a ball hog, bro. You had a
Yep.
team literally with statistically 2 of the best 3-point shooters of all time in BJ Armstrong and Steve Kerr.
Yep.
They gave you the best European
Don't forget
player at
Craig
the
Hodges too.
time.
They had Craig Hodges, John
Ru-
Paxson too. They had some sharpshooters.
Craig
Tony
Hodges,
Kukoc.
John Paxson, and Rod Harper. They gave you the best European player at the time in Tony Kukoc. Then you had the best, in my opinion, Robin of all time in Scottie Pippen. And you're making it
Yep.
seem like if you put anybody else in that situation, they're not as successful as Jordan. Stop it. I just need people to stop it.
This what gets me. Like the fact that Phil Jackson had to pull Jordan to the side to tell him to pass the ball more. That tells me you're a ball hog. If your coach got to tell you take less shots, you need to pass the ball more. You're a ball hog.
They get stuck on this field goal attempts. You know, those 3 add up throughout a season and throughout a career,
Yeah.
but also those free throw attempts. So he was trying to shoot the ball more times than people really noticed because he shot so many more free throws than LeBron. Like Jordan's whole thing was to score, like you were saying. Like his first thing was to
Exactly.
score. First thing,
That's
and
If
how
LeBron
if
gets a
LeBron
LeBron
lot of
does.
his
actually,
field goals
because
attempts
now all of a sudden,
off fast breaks.
right?
Yep.
So LeBron all of a sudden, right? I don't know if you've been looking at the comment section in some of these videos, bro. I had somebody sitting here talking about the only reason why the Lakers are winning right now is because they're able to draw more fouls than anybody else. And I'm saying, okay, that's a bad thing. Whoever usually wins certain battles on the court, the rebounding battle, the free throw battle, they usually win these games. That's actually quite important to draw a lot of fouls. So
But
now, so basically, the dude was sitting here trying to say the Lakers are getting the benefit of the doubt when it comes to these calls. And I'm like, so where's that smoke for people like Jordan, where if you even breathed on him hard, it was a foul?
Yeah, you couldn't even touch.
Also, I think it's funny. They complain about teams shooting so many threes, and when the Lakers are driving to the hole and getting fouls, they're complaining about that. Like, which one is going
Right.
to be? Make up your mind.
Bro,
Which one is going to
I
be?
believe the only reason why that was said to me in your comment section is because it's benefiting LeBron James. That's actually good basketball to get to the free throw line early in a
Yeah.
quarter.
It makes
That's
the defense
actually good.
relax more.
So I like if you go back and if you go and read my comment, Brandon, you'll probably see why I'm like, yo, bro, like it's just pure hate. You're knocking the man for doing something any basketball coach is going to tell you to do, and that's get to the line.
Yeah.
But now the referees are, it's rigged for LeBron. For the referees are rigging it for him because they're getting foul calls.
When his whole career, they've been.
It's not even
like,
LeBron. LeBron is probably
swallowing the
shooting
whistle.
less than most people.
You beat me to it. You beat me to it.
For most
You
of
know who took
LeBron's
the most
career,
free
the
throws?
refs been swallowing the
Do
whistle.
you know who takes the most free throws on the Lakers right now?
It's a Reeves.
Now who is it?
I think it's Austin Reeves.
Yeah, that's what I
believe
was
it's
thinking.
Reeves.
It's either Austin Reeves or Dennis Schroeder.
Yeah, Dennis Schroeder. Yeah, especially at the end of games.
Like, are you? So
Don't go ahead, Twin.
I can't remember the last time LeBron averaged double-digit foul shot attempts at the line.
I believe it's when he was with Cleveland, like the first go around. Like it's been a while. It's been a while. LeBron
Yeah.
don't get calls.
No, he get the Shaq treatment.
Exactly. Like these ridiculous like, bro, it drives me crazy, bro.
You know what
I'm
drives me
sitting.
crazy? What made me kind of irritated when they be bringing up the Lakers getting all these free throws, because it bring me back to that Celtics game, on that game winning layup when Jason Tatum fouled LeBron and he didn't get no call, and then they bring up how mad LeBron got, but then now y'all complaining about them getting calls, but
Right.
y'all was happy when he didn't get that call and didn't get that free
But
throw.
but like again, I just had to come up here and cook him because I'm tired of hearing when LeBron was in the East, there was nobody to play. That's just a lie. It's really just a lie.
Yeah,
I think I rattled off 6 teams that were good in the East. I remember him battling the Pistons, battling the Celtics, battling the Hawks, battling Indiana, battling the Bulls, battling Toronto. He just beat them every year.
It's this false narrative that the Heat was so much better than everybody. The Heat was always in game 7 because they were not a great team. I don't know where people think just because you got Bosh and Wade that makes you a great team. Like, no, they struggle versus everybody. They lost finals. They struggled. They was in 7 games with a lot of East teams. They were not a great team. So this narrative
I think it was the Roy Hibbert. Was it the Roy Hibbert, Paul George, Indiana Pacers took him 7?
They did it twice, I believe, or 6 games twice. Like they took
something
them 7.
like that.
Boston took them 7. Like,
and then he
Bulls
lied
took him
talking,
6.
he lied talking about the prime, like
Oh, what up, Craig? What up, bro? I didn't think you was.
Yeah, I just came back. I had to pick my wife up at the airport, but I see you up here slandering Jordan. I knew it. I just knew it. Yeah,
No, bro, I'm not slandering Jordan.
That dude be saying.
Greg, can I just can see I can talk to you and Ralph. I have a question for you. Was the East ridiculously weak, or was LeBron just better? Was LeBron's teams just better than? Was he able to just beat those teams when he was in the East?
My thing is, my thing is how I view it is, if someone can go to the finals in 8 times and be dominant, then a team can win 6 finals in a row and be dominant without the competition being X, right? I mean, what's the difference between someone making 8 straight and then and a team winning 6 straight? That's all competition, right? So I say that there was great teams in this East when LeBron was going to 8. There is. I mean, I wouldn't call any NBA player trash because they beat out millions of people who couldn't make the NBA.
Now, I actually agree with that sentiment. But you had a dude up here saying he was just trying to say from 03 to 07, the East was weak. And so I started
that time, the NBA period. Remember, that was the lowest scoring period in the NBA, even lower than the 90s and the 80s.
I do remember that. But I also remember in that era, I also remember during that time frame, the Pistons were still the Pistons. Then D Rose came along. Then I remember Indiana being good.
Pistons folded in what, 08? That was before. That was LeBron's first stint. I wouldn't say the Pistons was during that 8 straight final run.
04 to
I'm just saying. I'm just talking about teams that were there. I'm just talking about competition in the conference.
Yeah, because he was trying to say the East was weak the whole time.
He said the East was trash the whole time LeBron was in it. It's just a lie.
The East wasn't trash when he was in it. It was just that there wasn't as many as legendary teams that there were.
It wasn't star-studded teams. Like
that's what I'm saying.
Like
there's
but
Craig, the mythology that the 90s had these, because I always ask people who sit here and make the conference was weak argument, who was these dominant teams of the 90s besides the Bulls, the Knicks, the Heat,
it's never
in
no
Orlando one year.
Team. It was the players on those teams you would consider that makes them dominant. It really wasn't. The 90s had like one superstar per team in the 90s.
But they make but I know you understand what I'm saying, bro.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. But my thing is
they're making it seem like the East in the 90s was like the East of the 80s.
No, the East. What I'm saying is they say the East was weak during LeBron because. Y'all just basically said the East wasn't weak when he was going to 8 straight finals. So, okay, Grant, I agree with you. There's no point in time that there was a weak conference in the NBA. It's just that the teams that was on there, you had LeBron James. I mean, he was like the best player. If you have the best player on your team, no matter how bad or good team, you're going to succeed with him. You just put people that can do their jobs, and he had that in Miami. The first year, the second year when they picked up Miller, they picked up Allen, they picked up Battier from the Grizzlies. That was a great team.
Role players, yeah.
You need role players. they got their role players like their first stint when they beat Oklahoma. Yeah. That's when they got that. That was their best team, was the 2012, 2011, 2012 team, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's one thing I will say about LeBron. 2011, that motherfucker should have played better. That's all.
But here's the thing. When I talk about whole LeBron,
there was no beating.
Even about the 4-6 record. It's
can I just say something real quick?
Mm-hmm.
I get so tired of hearing that. Why do people act like that Dallas team didn't whoop Kobe's ass and the Lakers' ass, and they beat that great Grizzlies team in that Dallas team wasn't trash.
The same analogy that y'all use for the Detroit, you can use for the Utah. Utah beat the Lakers and the Spurs that final run to lose to they beat Tim Duncan, they beat Robinson, they beat Kobe, Shaq. They had 4 All-Stars on that team that year. But y'all don't give no Utah credit because they never won.
I think the thing is they discredit Dallas for winning that title because of LeBron. They don't realize how good Dallas was because of the way LeBron played. I think that's the whole problem. Like, Dallas was literally better than the Heat. They were a better basketball team than the Heat, but they feel that if LeBron would have just played like LeBron, they should have won.
If he had to average 25, they would have won that series.
He played
that's
bad.
all he had to average. His normal 25. They'd have won that series.
I think he
lost money because of
Craig, I can literally use that same argument for Kobe. Look what they did to Kobe in the West.
But LeBron played a lot worse than Kobe.
I'm not going to fake like he didn't. Every time I talk about 2011, I will never make an excuse for how he played in those finals. But to people pretend like that Dallas team was trash. Zach Randolph and the Memphis Grizzlies that year were a great team. Had a great shot of going to the finals. I honestly thought they were going to play the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals that year. And they got their ass whooped by Dallas. And then Dallas turned around and whooped the Lakers. But see, nobody want to talk about that. They just want to talk about the outcome of the season.
Years ago.
Like, Dallas would never get credit for that win. Like, that's just how it's going to be. Like, throughout, they would never get credit for that win ever because of how LeBron played.
Yeah, LeBron cost them LeBron cost them the championship, not Dallas.
Yeah, if LeBron would have played well, it would be a different story. But since
that's what I'm
LeBron
saying.
played so bad, Dallas would never get credit for beating the Lakers. I think they beat the Thunder too, or something like they beat a lot of good teams. Like, they would never get credit.
No,
they beat Dallas that year. I believe in the Western Conference, they beat the Grizzlies, and the Grizzlies was tough. They beat the Grizzlies. They beat the Lakers. I do think they beat the Thunder with KD, Russ, and freaking Harden coming off the bench, and Ibaka and them boys. That Dallas team was great.
Yeah, but they would never get credit for it. They will always be because of LeBron. And that was the weakest team to win a title. All because of how LeBron played.
But that's another false narrative. That team wasn't weak.
I mean, that's the narrative that's going to continue to go around. Like, there's no way to change it. There's no way to change it.
You change it with the truth. Because every time I hear people say that Dallas was a weak-ass team, I was like, do you understand they beat the Lakers, who were the defending champions? And I mean, they beat Kobe.
They're going to ignore that. They swept Kobe, too.
They're never going to get that credit.
So did Utah.
They're never going to get it. They're never going to get it. They're never going to get it.
Utah swept the four All-Star team in the Western Conference Finals that year. It was Exu, it was Kobe, it was Shaq, and it was Jones. 4 All-Stars on one team. They swept them, but y'all don't give Utah no credit.
But that's a young Kobe, though.
They couldn't win the finals, so they don't get no credit.
I actually do get credit. Like, no one says Utah was a bad team.
Really?
We just say Jordan
As a matter
finals
of fact,
competition was
sit here
nowhere
and
near
try to
LeBron's finals competition.
as one of the best finals teams ever. People
The
try to
best
do it.
team that Jordan played in the finals,
Yeah, that is the best team that Jordan
right?
played in the finals.
Is it?
It is. No,
Like,
that is literally the best team Jordan played in the finals. Because then you'll start getting to the finals comparison. Who had the toughest finals competition between him and LeBron? And then that's when, again, I can talk to people like Craig. You'll get that rabid Jordan fan who will sit here and just be mad, and then they'll start talking about the East and everything. I said, no, finals competition.
See, but y'all use the name. Y'all look at names over the final competition, over the production. All I say is like that because
I actually look at the
Jordan and LeBron is the stats.
No,
I look someone that LeBron played that has those type of stats that he played against. You can't find them. So is it production or is it names? Because if it's names, then you could say he played LeBron played a harder career. If you're going by production and stats, that stats and stuff says otherwise.
But it's not just names I look at. I look at the team. Of course, names matter, but I look at the team. I look at team success, meaning their record. I look at the team defense, where they ranked. Which let's be real here. The Spurs was just ridiculous when it came to team defense. Golden State was just ridiculous when it came to team defense. Let's just be real here. So that's why this is where the comparisons start to come in. That's why it's who had the toughest finals competition. I don't even think it's an argument.
It's not.
I don't even understand why it's an argument.
It's not. What elite score Jordan had to face in the finals?
I think most people know that LeBron competition was tougher, but it's about the results. And Jordan.
But what you got? I'm sorry. When you look at this in hindsight, Jordan took his super team to 6 finals and won 6 times. Let's be real here. Let's just be real here. He took his super team to the finals 6 times. He was favored all 6 times and won all 6 times. LeBron was favored twice in the finals. That was OKC and that was Dallas.
And the Heat, 2020.
Yes, I think it was three times. But still,
my bad. I forgot about the Heat.
But still, it's never going to go about that. That's why Dallas don't get their credit. It's going to go about results.
And it's lost. And I said this how it is. But LeBron losses. He's all right. So his 6 losses. He is 6-24 in his final losses. That means he averaged 1 win per final series. So that's why people say about the East, if the best team out the East can only win 1 game per final series, that's why people say the East was weak, because the best team out the NBA at the Eastern Conference can only win 1 game in the finals or 0 because he did get swept twice. That says a lot about that. That's why people would say that. But like I said, I don't believe that the East was weak. I just think the West was always better than the Eastern Conference.
Exactly. Thank you. I'm glad you said that. The teams out West were just better. They were more complete teams. They had a system, whereas LeBron was the system. D Rose was the system. The only team that really had a system back in the East was maybe Detroit, the Celtics, and I'll say the book. Well, no, not the Toronto.
Magic. The Magic had a good system.
Yeah.
The White,
Man, what
White
was that year they was? What was that year the Magic? They had that 3-point shooting record. What year was that? And LeBron lost to them, I think.
You talking about the Spurs?
That's when he was back.
No, it was the Magic. When they beat him in the playoffs.
Yeah, the Magic. They was drilling threes on them.
What was that?
2009.
2009.
Yeah. They shot.
I lost money on that series too. I put my faith in LeBron too many times. He cost me so much.
He put his faith on his teammates. That's the problem.
It's the player of the year. Because I think the LeBron averaged like 32 points a game that series.
And see, that's another thing. When he plays good and he loses, it's okay because he played good. Y'all don't give that same energy for Jordan because you can't say Jordan had a bad series even though he lost.
No, bro, no.
Jordan don't play team ball.
Hold up. I'm gonna tell you why. I stopped doing it because I used to do it. I stopped doing it because they've never done that for LeBron James. When he lost, he lost. So I don't want to hear about 63 points no more. Yeah, you gave that Boston team a hell of a run, but you never took a game. So as soon as they started doing that to LeBron, I started keeping that same energy for everybody, to include Kobe. I don't care about your performance in those games. I don't care about how good you played. You lost. So that's why I started doing it. Because I used to
They
do
was
that.
talking about that before LeBron was even in the league about the 63-point game. So it wasn't because of LeBron. People was been
but
saying
when LeBron do good performances, they always say, "But what did he win? But did
the
he win?"
narrative changed with LeBron. That's what he's saying. The narrative.
See,
changed
but the
with
thing
LeBron.
is, when he play good and lose, okay, I get it. But when he play bad, it's still not his fault.
No, but 2011
No,
is the only
that's
team.
LeBron played bad
But
for
Craig, you know what?
2
I
games
can't
in
even
his whole
disagree
career
with Craig
playoff.
says. What Craig just said right there. There are people who act like that. I don't act like that. He played terrible in 2011. But the narrative is in 2011 that needs to die is that Dallas team was trash. They weren't trash. And they actually had a good defensive scheme. So when I point out they shut down Kobe with that defensive scheme. They shut down Zach Randolph with that defensive scheme. They shut down KD and OKC with that defensive scheme. People are like, oh, well, damn, yeah, you're right. The only reason why they were favored is because it was the Heat and you had D Wade and LeBron and Bosh on the same team.
Yeah.
And they were favored by who? Vegas. Anybody with a brain could see that that was going to be a good series. And I'm sorry, it just wasn't. He didn't play up to par.
Yeah, 2011, that's the only time he didn't play well.
Man, he didn't play well for like 2 games. Like the whole series, you take out those 2 games, he was okay. But those 2 games, he was just terrible.
And then what they
I
say,
think
he
it was
got
back
locked
to
up
back.
by
Like,
JJ.
I think it was like back
he
to
got
back.
locked up by JJ. JJ Barrera
Wasn't something like that, like back to back.
Yeah, it was like 2 fourth quarters in a row. He didn't even score a point, I don't think. But
right,
yeah, they
like,
always say
I'm not about to sit here for.
It's just it's not really all the media. It's just all the fans. Like there's a lot of LeBron haters who just constantly post stuff thousands of times a day. So that's just
how many
basically
times
what
you
we're
see
talking
that
about.
LeBron got locked up by JJ Barrera?
I mean, it's 100 times a day still. They're still talking about that. There's
Man guarded him
JJ
like 4 or
Barrera
5
memes
times
everywhere.
the whole series.
We will post something about the game that they play on Friday, and you see JJ Barrera memes. Like that's just how it
What's the
is.
little meme of him in the drive-through? Like
They
a drive.
literally just beat Memphis by 40 points. LeBron wasn't even the leading scorer on the squad. It was D'Lo.
Yeah.
And every time if you look at this Memphis series, every win was a team win.
Yeah.
Every win was a team win. It wasn't LeBron carrying it.
He didn't take over.
LeBron praised his teammates, and you still see the meme.
This is what I noticed about this Lakers team that I like. Whoever that has the hot hand at the moment, they keep feeding them. They keep making plays for them. They let their hot hand go off. And then when it switch, somebody else get hot, they rotate to that person. It's no ball hogging or nothing. They really playing good team ball.
Yeah, you go with the ball hogger. Just my fault. Jordan had the hot hand for 40 minutes a game.
Yeah, but it wasn't impacting winning though. Like he got Jordan always thought Jordan is one of them players where he always thought he had the hot hand. So he gonna shoot regardless. He wasn't finna let his teammate go off and get 30. He wasn't finna let another player get 20. He wasn't doing all that. I'm scoring all the points. Y'all do everything else. And that was the problem with Jordan. That's why that triangle system and Phil had to make him buy in, because if Jordan didn't buy into that, they weren't gonna win.
Come on, Craig. Come on. I don't. You don't have to call it ball hogging, but like Craig, for real though, bro.
All right. So he has. All right, because the ball hogging thing, the scoring titles, all like. So he has 4. If you want to get technical, because everybody said it, you can't win. Wilt couldn't do it. Who else? George Gervin couldn't do it. All the prominent, they couldn't be the prominent scorer and lead a team to a championship. And he proved everybody wrong, and people were still calling him a ball. I mean, the results was the results. You can't win every game, like Giannis says. So the same excuses y'all give for Jordan losing, people give for LeBron losing, because of the way they played.
But Craig, did he just lie though? Is Jordan like? Steve Kerr's going off. Does Jordan keep feeding Steve Kerr?
What is Steve Kerr? Because he didn't play his whole career.
This is just a question. If Steve Kerr's going off, he can't miss. Does Jordan keep feeding him or does Jordan keep shooting?
Well, it depends on how the game is going. If
Yeah, nah, Jordan gonna
he
keep
did give him a shot to win the title, he
No,
gave it to him. He told him he was going to
I
shoot.
see a few games where the Bull players got off like Kukoc or Pippen, and Jordan didn't really try
He
try
gave
to
him a whole
take over.
season, and Pippen
Yeah,
couldn't get
so I
25 a
mean,
game. What
Pippen
you
had
want him to do?
a lot of high scoring games, so Jordan didn't try to take the ball away from Pippen. Pippen had the ball anyway, but
I'm
Pippen gave him
talking
a
about
whole 94
come on,
season to
bro.
average
Like,
more than
listen.
what he did
I
with
like to
Jordan.
be honest about shit. There are two players in NBA history who are not going to let the role play. If they cooking, they're not going to let them keep cooking. They're going to shoot their way out of a slump, and y'all know that's Jordan and Kobe. Stop saying here with the cap. That is just cap, and y'all know it.
I've seen some of the Bulls players go off and Jordan then say I'm shooting every time because you're shooting. Like that's not true. That's not true.
I mean,
Now,
Jordan averaged 100 points a game. I'm pretty sure
That's not
you
true.
need if someone averaged 30, you still need like 80 something. You need 50 or 60 points from your team to win.
I'm calling cap on this because that's the bluest of moons, Brandon, and you know it, bro. Stop it.
Yeah,
Stop
I
it.
mean, I say it like
Jordan wasn't really trying to
Jordan.
go out there and just let somebody like have a good night, score night. Hey, tonight was your night, bro. Do
I
you
mean, he
enjoy
didn't
this?
he
He
didn't
averaged
get
5
every
assists
night.
for a career. That's y'all making it seem like he averaged 1 assist. He got 200 assists for a career. He's a shooting
I
guard.
mean,
What y'all able to
Pippen went
do?
off a lot of times in the playoffs, and Jordan just didn't say I'm gonna shoot the ball every time.
No, I ain't saying that, but I'm saying he not doing like LeBron is. LeBron gonna make sure that player just keep eating, and if he hot the next game, he gonna let him eat then too. Jordan ain't doing that.
He had 10. Pippen had 10 years to show Jordan he can score, and he didn't. So
Pippen wasn't no Pippen was a pass first player too. He wasn't trying to go out there.
So
Pippen
why is y'all
already.
getting mad for Jordan not being a pass first a player if he already has one as a teammate? You want how many pass first team
I'm gonna tell
players
you
you
what
want
it is,
on one
Craig.
team? If
I'm
everybody
gonna
passing
give
the
you
ball, who gonna score?
my logic on it. I'm just gonna give you my logic on it. People, and it's not you. That's why I said I can talk to you, but I'm pretty sure Brandon and my other dude have encountered this. People make Jordan out that he did everything so great, mythical, walk on water, like he was just the standard of basketball. So when you point out the flaws, and I'm not even going to sit here and say they're terrible flaws, because I agree with you. He's a shooting guard. His job is to fill up the bucket. But they make it seem like he was this great facilitator and he was this great rebounder, and he stopped everybody he guarded when he didn't take the toughest.
He could have been
When he
that, but
but
he
he
didn't
didn't take
have
the toughest defensive assignments every night. He didn't sit here and try to grab all the rebounds he could because he had teammates to do it. So
He
people
averaged
will
32,
diminish.
8, and 8 for a whole season. Find me a LeBron season like that. Just he didn't
LeBron
have to
has
do it.
literally
There's a difference between can't do it, and not having to do it.
I literally just said that. He had teammates to do that. So they'll diminish Jordan's teammates to make it seem like he carried that team. And he just didn't.
Yep.
I think the main thing that we encounter all the time is just Michael Jordan is so superior than LeBron, and it's not a conversation. There's no way on earth LeBron is close to Michael Jordan, and that's what Twin Man's talking about.
So
Oh
when you
no,
point out he had a Scottie Pippen. He had some of the best 3-point shooting ever. When you point these things, you had one of the greatest rebounders of the basketball ever. You point this out.
He was old because he was old in 91, so you can't really say that he was old when he played with him. So he was old.
When you point things out, Craig, they'll try to make Zdruno Ilgauskas Shaq, Larry Hughes, Scottie Pippen.
Like, dude,
they'll try to make Mo Williams. They'll try to make Mo Williams, Rod Harper.
That's what we just heard.
And it's like, bro, are you serious? They make it seem like the only person who could have won with that stacked ass Bulls team is Jordan.
Man, I encountered this Jordan fan last night. This fool said the 2007 Cavs was better than the 2007 Lakers Kobe had. This fool said that. I was like, what? He was like, LeBron didn't beat the Spurs in 2007, and the Lakers with Kobe, they beat that same Spurs team. I'm like, LeBron had a better team then. I'm like, bro, you must be on some crack.
Are you
That
talking
is so
about the
far from the
08,
truth.
08 Lakers or
Talking
the
about
07
the
Lakers?
08 Lakers.
He's talking
I
about
think you're
07
talking about.
Lakers.
No,
Before they
had
got
to be the
Paul
had to be the
Gasol.
No,
When
he
it
said
was
the
Karan
07, the Lakers
Butler.
in 2007 was
Yeah, it
better
was
than
Karan. What is it?
they
Karan,
had Lamar
Lamar,
Odom. They had Lamar Odom and Bynum.
Smush Parker.
Yeah, but he said
Nah,
that
that team was trash.
2007 Cavs team was
That
better
team was
than that
trash.
2007 Lakers team. He said LeBron had more help in 2000. Not the dude that
Now
was
they
on. It was another
both
dude.
didn't have no help, to my opinion.
It wasn't really a great team.
They both had evenly
It wasn't
tied
really a
teams.
great thing.
That shit crazy.
Yeah.
They be really talking about this 2017 Cavs team was like
So
this.
that's always going to be my subjective argument. How did you do when you didn't have your team, your good team around you?
Yep, that's my same logic.
That's always my subjective argument.
What, in
We
team
saw
success or personal success?
How
team
did you-
success.
How did
Because
you
we
and
already
Pat
know
winning?
individually, they played great. Individually, Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron, when they didn't have teams around them, their individual numbers were great. So I'm talking team success. How far could you carry your team?
But you
We know
can't. You
Jordan
really
didn't
can't
go far.
compare LeBron and Jordan team success like that because one
Hold
played
on.
with a teammate.
That's why it's my
10
subjective
years.
argument. That's why it's my subjective argument. How were you before you got Scottie Pippen the same way? How was LeBron before you got with D Wade? LeBron was able to carry his team. Jordan wasn't. We saw what Kobe was after Shaq.
But again, you're comparing 2.5 seasons to 7 seasons.
That's why it's my subjective argument.
I guess my thing is how they dominated their era, and both dominate their era more than anybody. And personally, I think LeBron dominated his era probably more by what he did on the court.
In terms of what
That's
though?
Of course, everything: scoring, passing, rebounding, winning, making
For
the
me, it's in
finals.
terms.
If you dominate, that means you are the better than everyone. That means you would be like the lead in something, right? If you dominate,
But he shut down a conference for 8 years.
All right, so let me just pull up this graph then, since I don't know if y'all can see it. So this is like Jordan from 84 to 98, and this is just LeBron until currently. You just see how both of them just completely dominated everything. They're number one in everything. Like they completely dominated everything. And LeBron does the same thing, but he has more number ones in the postseason because no one really dominated like LeBron in the postseason. This is what I'm talking about. Like both of them has dominated so much throughout their careers. And for some reason, LeBron get knocked for losing in the finals, even though no one from the time he went into the NBA to the current has made more finals or won more titles or more MVPs,
Exactly.
more finals MVPs. Same as
But
Jordan.
it's
Both
not
of them dominated so much.
But it's the like I just said, like, yes, making the finals is a great thing, but like I said, in his 6 losses, he hasn't been competitive. That says something. Even when you won your finals, your 2 final ones, the two finals victories that you won that went to Game 7, that was in against the Golden State and in Miami. Yeah, when he was on Miami against the Spurs, I'm saying I'm just to put perspective. The two series he won in Game 7 against the Spurs and the Warriors. The two titles he won where it didn't go 7 games was 2020 and 2012.
Mm-hmm.
Those two seasons he had a break in between. The 2012 title was due to a lockout, and the 2020 series was due to
everyone had a break.
The series. Now, when he played the full season and won a title, he had to take it to 7 games. When he lost, he couldn't even take the team to 7 games. So you can't say he dominated a conference just to go.
What that have to do with anything?
Huh?
Have to do with anything.
But there has to be context put on this, though. Like and then this is when you get into the finals competition argument.
But that's okay. If the best team in the East can't win 1 game in the finals, how can you not even understand why someone would say that conference is weak?
But hold up. Check me out.
If you the best team in the Eastern Conference makes it to the finals and lose 0 games, What would that tell someone who doesn't watch basketball?
But what that has to do with the
That
East
would
being
tell
weak?
that the team that Eastern Conference team ran into
Is that by luck or that's just the skill set of the East that the best team is untouchable against, can't win anything against the Western team?
But that's what I'm saying. You can actually look at the context of that because you can look at the fact that he played the best power forward ever, surrounded by 3 other Hall of Famers. That's the context around that.
So you talk about the competitions, right? So if he has competition in the finals and it's that easy to make it just to lose in one game, wouldn't that validate the argument that the East wasn't strong enough if you can't win at least one game against the best team?
It sure wouldn't.
The 90s look even worse because the Bulls was the best team with mostly all the best players on their one team, and they going against teams in the East that couldn't match up with it. You had scattered talent on a bunch of different teams in the East. The Bulls was a super team, and then look at not only was that the competition for the East going to the finals weaker, then look who they faced in the finals.
The Bulls is the Bulls is a super team. Why? What is your definition of a super team?
You got all the top best players at that time in their prime.
I literally ran it down.
Rodman Rodman at 38 was in his prime. I just want to be clear. Rodman at 38 was
not. Rodman was still winning rebound titles and doing the same thing he was doing on the Pistons for the Bulls. His production did not decline. Prime is production, not age.
Yeah,
but what we're trying to do,
production decline. Like, when did this happen?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Y'all was calling him old in 91, wasn't y'all? Y'all said he was old when the Bulls swept him in 91. So how did he mysteriously know?
Craig, this is being a little disingenuous, Craig. This is when you start to become a little disingenuous.
I'm just saying,
you're really with a straight face right now going to say that Bulls team wasn't a super team. Are you going to, with a straight face, say that Bulls team wasn't a super team?
No.
It wasn't a super team. Who was a better three-point shooter outside of your elite shooters like Reggie Miller, maybe Mark Price? Who was a better three-point shooter than Steve Kerr and B.J. Armstrong?
How can you breaking up?
Give me some better shooters better than B.J. Armstrong, Paxton, Kerr.
Steve Kerr.
Curry, Mark Price was an elite 3-point shooter.
Curry,
he wasn't a superstar.
Steve Kerr was the best 3-point shooter.
He was statistically better than Steve Kerr. He was statistically better than Steve Kerr. Was he a statistically better 3-point shooter than Steve Kerr and B.J. Armstrong?
For the attempts that he did, yes, because Steve Kerr wasn't playing enough to take volume shots. Steve Kerr would be like 1 and 2 for the whole game for like 10 games straight, taking 2 3-pointers and making 1 a game, compared to Mark Price, who would attempt like 3 or 4 and make 2 of those. So yeah, you can be an elite if you're only taking 2 or 3 shots a game and making 1. Yeah, your number's gonna look great. I want you
to get this right. Basically, I'm gonna tell you why you're diminishing Steve Kerr. And actually, you should have given him more credit.
Go look at the facts. He did not. He wasn't. Yes, you.
He's not. According to you, he's not even playing that much. And he's still
great. You would be starting. You would be playing like 20+ minutes a game. You would be
playing 20+ minutes a game. He's probably gonna put up 4 shots. He's gonna give you at least 2 3-pointers a game, right?
That they needed to, because he won a game like that.
He won a game.
So if he puts up 4 and he gives you 2, that's still pretty good. So if he puts up 4 and in a clutch moment he gives you 1, like he did, like Paxton did, like B.J. Armstrong did.
Shooter. Oh, so
Jordan had the best player all on his team.
That 5 points came for someone who was a great 3-point shooter. Okay.
And then he had the best European player in the league, Luke Longley. Then he had Scottie Pippen.
Luke Longley was the best European player.
No, Tony Kukoc at the time was the best European.
Tony Kukoc, my bad.
Tony Kukoc, they drafted 4 years ago, who decided to play now. It's not like he was. They knew he was. He could have played. He could have been on the '92 championship team.
And then they had all them all NBA, all defensive.
Oh, don't say media awards.
Man,
if you watch no media awards.
If you watch those Bulls games, Jordan was
don't
not
use
the best defender
eye test
on
either.
that team.
You can't use the eye test
Horace
or
Grant,
media awards.
B.J. Armstrong locking people up. You had Scottie Pippen locking people up. Jordan was maybe like the third best defensive player on that team.
But yet he had led the league in steals.
Because he playing help defense. Because they was locking their players
now
up.
you diminishing stats. Y'all do this all the time. Y'all diminish the stats.
Jordan was playing help defense.
Then when it falls for LeBron, we always supposed to use stats.
The
stats said he was great.
Jordan was playing help defense. If you watch LeBron on Miami days, he was guarding and locking up the best players. Jordan was not doing that. Jordan was letting his teammates guard those best players, and he was playing help defense. It's a whole difference. If you want to go to the stats, go ahead. But Jordan wasn't locking up best players.
Y'all go to the stats when y'all compare Jordan to LeBron. So why is it that we could use the eye test for your argument, but I can't use the eye test for mine? I have to go by stats.
I use everything, and I've been saying Jordan was never the best defender on the Bulls. And I don't need no stats for that. Scottie Pippen was. Jordan was like the third best defender on that team.
Okay, so Scottie Pippen on the Bulls, they averaged the same amount of rebounds and assists. The only difference was the points, where Jordan has twice as much. So
Jordan was the best scorer on the Bulls. That's it.
Do you know where I put my daddy clothes at?
He wasn't the best rebounder. He wasn't the best passer. He wasn't the best defender. He wasn't even the leader, according to the teammates. They even said Pippen was the leader. Jordan just was the best scorer. That's it.
Can you give me some clothes?
Yeah. That's it. I mean, you can't say.
Craig, like you said, you had people on the Bulls that did their job, right?
Yeah.
So I don't even understand why you're even arguing against what he said. You had people on there to defend. You had people on there just to shoot. You had people on there just to rebound. But then you had Jordan, who's going to fill it up. That was his job. He was filling it up.
No, but this notion that he doesn't play defense, the man.
I didn't say he didn't play defense. I would never say that. That would be blasphemous. But I'm sorry, but he had Scottie there to take the tough assignments, and that was strategically smart, so you could keep him fresh, so he could do his job, which was fill up the bucket. Can we be real about that? I don't think it's crazy to sit here and say Scottie was the better defender.
Y'all not used to someone playing with a person for so long. Y'all so used to everybody switching up. 4 years, I'm gonna play with him, and then 4 years, I'm gonna go with him. Y'all
players are gonna go get that
10 years together.
If the 2020 Lakers stay together,
would you rather be with a female who had one body, or a female who had 4 bodies?
I hear what you're saying, and I don't disagree with you. But you also got to understand it's a way different today, because players when they win rings, a lot of these players go get their money. That 2020 Lakers team stay together. It's a good chance they go back to back. But Kyle Kuzma went and got his money. Caldwell Pope went and got his money.
Traded Kyle Kuzma. What do you mean? They got rid of him.
Well, hold on. Yeah, that is true. But Malik Monk went and got his money. A lot of players go get their money. Say the Lakers win this year. You don't think Austin Reeves, even though I don't think he can go anywhere, but if Austin Reeves could go somewhere, you don't think he's entitled to a huge contract from how he's playing right now? You don't think Rui Hachimura could get a huge contract from how he's playing right now if he left the Lakers?
I'm not
or
saying
Vanderbilt,
but that's the thing. We all know it's time to change, but y'all always give what because they played with each other for 10 years. They always give him, well, he couldn't do. I couldn't. That's like saying that's like being married. Yeah, I can't have sex with all these girls because I'm married. I'm stuck. I can't do. Y'all want him to? All right, Pippen. We won 3 in a row. I'm gonna go and try to win 3 in a row with someone over here, and then after I win here, I'm gonna go just to prove that it wasn't you that helped me win this title. Yeah,
but Craig, in today's league, that's how it is. I'm sorry, that's how it is. Players are gonna go get their money, and you got to start from scratch, and you have to be able to carry that.
Don't criticize the player that didn't have to do that.
I'm not criticizing
him. That Pippen thing, They played 10 years of their prime together.
It's just the fact that, like, and you even admitted it. Everybody had their role on the Bulls, so you have that 10-year continuity, but you have that 10-year continuity with the great players. You're not going to the finals with scrap parts, with bits and pieces. You have literally the best Robin
there
ever.
and build your team up to get those players.
But how do you build your team up when you win? Your teammates leave. You can't help it if your teammates leave. So why do we criticize LeBron for sitting here saying I want to better my situation when I sit here, I'm trying to build that culture that you're talking about, and as soon as we start building that culture, as soon as players start playing great, they leave.
But that's the whole. They leave because that team don't want to pay him. Because as the team, if you win, I can pay you the most money. They're choosing to leave. That's
but
the
we
team.
knock
That's
LeBron for that.
the
But see, hold on. LeBron is not for either team hopping or finding teammates. But we don't want to put context on why he leaves teams or has to find teammates. We just sit here and knock him for it.
I don't knock him for it.
Not you.
Between what's going on, y'all knock him when y'all mention the thing about Pippen, because the Pippen thing, that means Jordan had a great player for 10 years. The organization helped them build where in this age, hey, you won me a title, but shoot, 2 years, I'll get rid of you. So they don't even want to pay these players. Remember, the team that you in can pay you the most money. So if a player leaves, that means that team didn't want to pay him.
But it was also the benefit that they locked Pippen into that horrible contract.
The owner told him not to sign it. The owner
he was locked in there. He couldn't go nowhere. That's another thing. We acting like players had the freedom of movement they do now. Back then, they just didn't.
And the lockout season of '99 is what started everything to go forward, because everybody blamed Chicago for paying Jordan that $30 million his last 2 seasons for the whole now everybody is talking got that I want to get paid thing now. So everybody was worried about the money instead of being loyal to teams. And now everybody blamed the Bulls for that, because no one was getting paid no $30 million for one season in no 98. They caused the lockout of '99. They caused everything to change, because now players had shorter contracts. They was getting more money from the commercial, the portion from TNT and all that. They gave them more money. It was the league's fault that players not playing with the same team anymore. Not the players.
So Craig, we can admit that the weakness and the softness of the league can be blamed on the players back then.
What do you mean, the softness?
Because I hear a lot that the NBA today is soft and it's weak, and players want to run and they don't want to build. Is it due to the fact during, the 90s and those lockout seasons of the 90s and those shortened seasons of the 90s and the 80s, that those players that people revere the most wanted to do exactly what these players are doing now?
You always going to have disgruntled employees.
But those players back then wanted to do what these players are doing now, right?
Most of them did. If you had power, you could do it. Back then, it was the superstars. Now it's the guy who plays 6 minutes off the bench talk about he won't get paid. Back then, it was the superstars, the good who deserved the money, who was complaining about it. Nowadays, you're going to have Emmanuel quickly going to talk about, I need to get paid. Now it's everybody. Back then it was just the superstar players, the Barkleys, the Drexlers. Now it's the Kyle Lowrys, the Duncan Robinsons. It's superstars players. It just transitions.
My point is this: you had those players back then who wanted to do what these players are doing now. But you have fans today, especially the nostalgia-stricken fans, who come online killing these players for wanting to do exactly what these players are doing now.
Yeah.
And they fought to do it. They fought to do it.
What, killing to win or to get paid? Because it's two different
things. Killing to get paid.
A lot of players leave to want to win. People take pay cuts. LeBron did it. He took a pay cut because he wanted to win. Not everybody wants to leave a team to get paid.
I just feel like I'm thinking, I put myself in that situation. if you are all-star talent or a all-time great talent, and you on an incompetent franchise who's not giving you the pieces you need to know that you can win, and in free agency you leave to go to a competent franchise that you know will get you help so you can be successful and win the championship. I don't see
People
what's the
aren't trying to
problem
be
with
like
leaving.
KG. People
Yeah,
aren't trying to be
look at
like
Dame
KG
Leonard.
and facing your good years with a team that's not putting shit around you and you know you can't win.
Look at
People ain't
Dame
trying to
Leonard.
do that.
Dame Leonard, prime example. He should
Exactly.
be
People
have
ain't
won
trying to
a
be like
title.
Dame.
Yeah, like I want to do that because I want to win. I'm not finna waste my time just
You want
on
to
the
win or you want to
franchise,
get
and I know
paid? You can't be.
I
If you
know they're
ain't
not
great,
gonna
you
do
can't
their
be
job
both.
and get players here. I know we can't get nobody to come here. I'm not finna stay there and just keep wasting my time. I'm not finna do that. And free agency, if I got an opportunity to go somewhere, that's just like at a job. You at your job right now. If you ain't making no money there, you struggling check to check, and you ain't getting no benefits, and you got another job offer you a position, benefits, and more pay, and you can live better. You telling me you're not gonna go? Nah, you know what? I'm gonna be loyal to this job over here. You know, that's why that's my first job. I'm gonna stay. Hell no, you gonna leave.
Yeah, you
All
leave it
right,
because of the
Brandon.
income,
All
not
right,
because you
y'all.
want to
Yo,
win.
thanks for letting me come up, man.
All right,
I
no
just get
problem. All
so
right, yeah,
tired of
no.
hearing some of these bullcrap narratives. It drives me crazy, man. All right, Craig, it's
Yeah.
good talking to you. All right, big dog. I
All
holla
right,
at
man.
you.
We about to get off anyway. We've been on for what, like 3 hours now. I think it's been like 3 hours, like 2 hours.
Yeah, two 2 hours 54 minutes.
But all right, then, thanks you guys for coming on. Thanks, Craig. Craig got his time to, be himself. Well,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no one cursing, all that good stuff. I mean, it was a good conversation. I had no idiots talking nonsense. Everybody knew what they was talking about.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I heard it. Thanks for
God been
coming on
dealing with me,
again.
man. I'm trying to be better. But some of these dudes be making me want to curse them out. I'm
I'll
trying.
tell you,
I'm really trying.
these Jordan and LeBron would never get me this upset. I'll tell you that much now.
Now,
Nothing
you
they
know
can
what? It
both
don't be
do
the
to get
debate
me that
about
upset.
basketball. It's when they be trying to get personal.
Yeah,
That's
we
what
all
it
we
Yeah,
all
like.
get a little
It's
bit too
like, bro,
personal.
what are you talking about? We talking about basketball, and you talking about some homosexual stuff and all
yeah,
this type of like, bro, this is not basketball.
yeah. That's why I don't post. I made one post ever in one of these groups. Never again. That's why y'all don't see me make no posts. I comment. You can't get mad at the comment. Never again. I
Yeah,
had so
y'all.
much
Let's
DMs.
go ahead and get off here. Thanks everybody, on the panels in the comment section. Everybody who tuned in to YouTube and our Facebook. See you guys next week. All right, thanks, Craig, Ernest. See
All
you
right,
guys
All right,
next week.
man.
next week.
All right.
All right.